My name is Lauren B. Welcome to the Untitled Tarot. We're doing a bit of a surprise stream today. Hey Ariel. I went on Instagram and I saw that you were live, or I saw that you were active, and I knew you were gonna get this alert. I was like, she's on the hunt. She's on the move. But yeah, I've been getting some stuff done today, and I just came over my spirit to just come on and do like some collective messages or some bonus readings in case you guys have any questions or anything that like you want to ask. It's like 12:30 here, so I figure we'll come on for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and we'll pull you guys some cards and we'll hang out and we'll just see what happens. We'll just see what happens. The Virgo reading is up. It just posted just moments ago. It was a really interesting reading. All of the readings within the probably last week have been super interesting. So definitely go check out the Virgo reading. The Leo reading was really good. Yeah, go get you some. Go get you some. Hi Dana, the Pink Peony Oracle. How are you? Hello. How are all of my bees doing? I am doing well. I'm feeling pretty energized, which is good. I feel like I have way more energy than I should have, but I have it, so we're gonna use it on something constructive. I put out the weekly energy reports over on my Instagram, so if you're interested in seeing just kind of like the collective energy overview, your zodiac horoscopes, your motivational mantras and quotes, things to kind of keep in mind for this week, go head over to my Instagram, go join me and check out your energy report. Same name, Untitled Tarot. Hey Eve. Ooh, it was so interesting, and like the extended too. It's just like I've really just been like diving into the extended. They've been a little extra long lately. Yeah, busy bee over here. Good to hear you well. Good. Getting the kitties ready and then headed to my ultrasound, so I will be listening. I'll be here, girl. Thank God, finally. you got that damn appointment. It's about time. Earthworm. Hi, Sal. How are you? Alan, hello. Oh, it's your first time catching me live. Well, welcome. Welcome to the honeycomb. I come live sporadically. Sometimes you'll see me a lot. Sometimes you'll see me a little bit. I'm a serious woman, kind of like a fly ball. You gotta catch me. You gotta stay alert. You like the Leo reading? That was a good one. It was kind of a heavy topic, but I was actually quite proud of myself for being able to cover a heavier topic with gentleness. I think that is really important. And those of you guys that are on the Patreon, you've noticed I've been putting out some like Patreon only readings and some Patreon exclusive like downloads and messages and stuff like that. I'm really investing a lot of my time and my energy and my love over there into our Patreon family, especially for the school. For those of you that are in our mystery school on Patreon, your Monday meditation went out this morning. We were doing one about a conversation with self, being able to create the energy that you need in order to connect with your future self, your past self, your inner child, whatever it is, whatever you need, right? Yes, Ariel, we were very excited. Love the Cancer reading, so on point. Thank you. I've gotten quite a few messages, Alan, about the Cancer reading and how it was really resonating for a lot of people, so I'm very grateful. Last month I was doing the block scheduling for the zodiac readings. It was like the first and the third week of the month. I was putting out all of them, which was fun. That was a really interesting way to do it. I'm trying to experiment a little bit with kind of like my schedule, but it is actually nice to kind of come back and just put up like one a day and give everyone kind of like a little bit more of their due diligence and let each zodiac sort of like breathe, right? See how they play off of each other a little bit more. That's nice. All of the February monthlies are out too, so if you haven't checked out your February monthly, they are linked underneath all of your weekly zodiac readings. You can also find all of them on Patreon as well. Patreon's a little bit like Costco. You get all the bulk. You get all the bulk content. Love the Cancer reading, so on point. Oh good, I'm so glad. Me Lewin, hello. Your softness is definitely what was needed with that message. Thank you. Yeah. As I had said in the Aquarius season energy download video that I did, and it was confirmed in a really big way for the Aquarius new moon video that I did, that many of us are kind of stepping into different temperaments, different alignments, and for many of us it's different assignments, and I'm definitely in that category where some of my assignments are changing, and so the way that I am kind of coming forward and the energies in which I'm reading out of, and just the types of different content that I've been putting out are really very reflective of my own personal process and in my own journey, and ways in which I am being encouraged to expand or evolve in different ways. And so I think some of the tougher messages with sort of the air of gentleness that seems to be coming forward is really reflective of the inner work that I have been doing. It is very hard. We are all kind of tired. We're going through ego deaths. We're going through all kinds of stuff, but we're doing it. We're out here. This is why we do the work. All the energy is starting to shift, and we definitely can feel a little bit of that rumbling in the atmospheres. You know, kind of the pieces are starting to move across the board, but that's why we come on here every single day, reading after extended, after monthly, after energy shift, after transit. This is why we put in the work, so that way we can have these real changes in our physical life, right? Not just theoretical, but applicable. This is why we do it. This is how we do it. Jackie, hi, yeah, we're live. So I just wanted to come on for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, hang out with you guys, see if you guys had any questions. I can pull a few cards for you. We can do collective messages. I just kind of scheduled out this kind of hour and a half for us to kind of just hang out and just spend a little time together and see if you need anything. You're so welcome. Starfish. All these cards are popping out. I'm like, cool. And I just put them right back in. They're so annoyed. They're so annoyed with me. It was the starfish. Aquarian energy. Beautiful. It means we're in sync. We're in sync with the season. This is the right time. 12:44 on my clock. This is the right time for this stream. Talks about healing. It talks about something that is special. Oh, they're also saying something to me about the drying out process. Normally you take a starfish after it is kind of passed and sort of dried out. Is that a message about like souvenirs? Oh, are you talking about my dream? Yeah. Do you hear the beat? Okay, so I'll tell you guys a story. This is a collective messages that I actually believe I was supposed to make a video about, but I didn't make a video about because I forgot, because I have a lot of other projects going on in my head. I got a lot of irons on the stove, you know what I'm saying? So I had this dream a couple nights ago, and I was on my old college campus, actually. Woot woot, story time. So I'm on my old college campus, and I want to go to the library. I'm a big bookworm. You guys know me and all my books. So I go into this big library, and it's different. It's big. It's beautiful. It's so much nicer than the library at my school. And I go up to this one particular floor, and I actually end up in this bedroom. And there's nothing in it. There's nothing in this bedroom at all. But there are a few like souvenirs. There are a few sort of mementos. And for me, they were like pictures of my nieces, my nephew, my family, just like these little things. They're sweet, sweet souvenirs. And there was someone else in the room with me. And there was this big feeling as though like I had to sit in this room and wait with them. I wanted to go out of the room. I wanted to go into like the bulk of the library, right? I wanted to study. I wanted to start researching. I wanted to take my notes. Like I wanted to do all of this stuff. But I felt like this person like really wanted me to stay in this empty room that had nothing in there for me except for these souvenirs and except for these mementos. And the message that had kind of come through is that we can't really keep ourselves stuck in old situation, in rooms, in places, in spaces, mental spaces as well, that don't have anything for us other than like a few sweet memories. So often we talk about leave the past behind, but not everything in the past is rotten, right? Like there are some good, sweet memories that you have from some of your former experiences. And the idea was that I could just take those photos and I could just put them in my wallet. Like I could just put them in my bag and then go out into the library and get me some knowledge, research, do my notes, like move on to the next thing, take advantage of like kind of this really pristine energy that was trying to elevate us, right? And so it was sort of this message of, if there are sort of mementos or memories or souvenirs, like these things from your past, you can feel free to take those sweet memories with you. It's okay, right? You know, you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. Like, take the sweet memories with you, but just keep going. Don't stay in rooms, don't stay in relationships, don't stay in groups, in places that are empty. There's nothing else in them. And part of that emptiness is also this backlog. Remember how I keep talking about there's this backlog of energy in these timelines, and they're collapsing, and there's all of this big clearing out process that's been happening, particularly while a lot of you are sleeping in your dreams, and it's being supported by these evolutions and these ego deaths and all of the stuff we're experiencing in our waking life. And that's part of the reason why the room was empty, is because we had really cleared out so much of this stuff. And there's really nothing to do and nowhere to go but forward. And we can take the sweet things with us, but it's kind of time to get back into the library and sort of pull out your books, which again is sort of really tying into the idea of these new assignments, that you guys are getting new projects, you're having new ideas come online for you. For those of you that are really into like your spiritual work behind the scenes, your assignments may actually be changing, right? Like if you are really into, you know, portal work, or you work a lot with the grids, like you may be switching into another area, right? It's like if you're kind of a specialist in spiritual warfare and you do a lot of work in the infernal, you may find yourself moving up to more of like the light worker side of the spectrum. Some of you guys that are light workers, you may end up moving more into like the shadow worker side and start working with some of the underbelly of the grid. You might be working in the infernal, right? Like there is a lot of shifting and changing in your spiritual work, and that's also being mirrored in the kind of relationships and the kind of work and the attitudes and the routines and the behaviors and all of the stuff that you're doing in your waking life. Typically there's more of kind of like a time lapse between what happens spiritually and what happens naturally, but the time lapse between those two things seems to be shortening more and more and more, and so it's really kind of instantaneous. There is an energy of sort of manifestation really heavily right now, being able to speak things into existence. Again, if you ask for it, it will be provided for you. And so just be really conscious right now that you are moving forward. Again, stay in your lane, mind your pace, mind your natural rhythms, but keep moving forward. Take the sweet memories with you and build upon them in the new places with your new assignments. Don't be afraid of starting fresh. Don't be afraid of diving into new ideas. Again, it's this cumulative building process that we're going through. And that's what the Starfish card tells us. Hey MBA, how are you? Ugh, no, you don't want to go in? You want to talk to Mama? Okay. Look at those emojis. Nice. So, hi Dee, how are you, my love? So I guess we can pull some collective messages. We can just pull cards for everyone. If anyone has a specific question as well, I have no problem pulling a few cards for you for that too. You just let me know. Just kind of scheduled out this time to spend together. So what do I have? I have the Rider-Waite, I have the Wild Unknown Spirit Animal Oracle, and I have the Dark Grimoire Tarot that Eve sent me. I use this in all of the monthly readings. Lauren, are you in New York? I am not in New York. I am from Jersey though, so you might hear a little bit of that coffee talk. Every once in a while, the Jersey just kind of pops out of me, you know? Can't help it. You can't help it. I did go to college in Jersey City for years. I lived in Jersey City for years. So I definitely pulled up some of the city twang, slang. Collective messages. Yes. Yes. All right. So let's see. Let's do a little prayer. Father God, thank you for bringing me and everyone in for all kinds of messages. I ask that you give me wisdom, clarity, and discernment to deliver these messages accurately for everyone's highest of love, light, alignment, and assignment. We praise you, we love you, we thank you always. We give you all the glory and the honor for these messages to the utmost high. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Come on through, Jesus. I might be traveling to New York to see my grandmother. Oh, I'm so sorry about your grandmother. Still trying to decide if it's the right thing to do right now. Any cards for guidance? Maybe these are you. Maybe these are you. Oh, hold on. Yeah, it feels like it's good closure for you, NBA. You have the Fool and you have the King of Wands. For me, the Fool talks a lot about kind of like a calculated risk. The King of Wands is really focused. He's kind of he focuses on his objectives. It's sort of this idea of like what's the right thing to do. The Hangman is coming up as well, which talks a lot about perspectives, kind of being in a little bit of a tight spot, but being able to kind of find like the highest energy in the middle of that. And you have the World card. It's interesting to me that you have the beginning of the tarot and you have the end of the major arcana here, plus Justice and the Ten of Wands with the King of Pentacles. Yeah, I would, if you're able to, NBA, I would go. You might feel like kind of obligated, like it's a heavy situation. You would almost prefer not to go, but there is that sense of I'm going to feel guilty if I don't go, right? Try and make the best out of the situation. You are kind of at the precipice of watching someone really transition to sort of the next part of their journey is how I like to phrase that. But it is the right thing to do. You will be very burdened by guilt if you don't go, even if it is uncomfortable, the process of traveling or being with your dad, or just because it is a very emotionally heavy situation, right? It's grief, it's mourning. But the King of Pentacles says that it is the generous thing to do. It is how you kind of take care of your family, is by not always what you do for them, but how you show up for them. This is also the sense that you can be of a great support to your other family members who are going through this, right? Might not be obviously the most pleasant experience of your life, but it is the right thing to do. And it will be good for you later on to know that you had that experience, and it will also be of a great support to your family members as well. So I hope that helps. And I am sorry about your grandmother. It's very difficult. They're both fire signs. They agreed on the collective. Collective, personal, collective, personal. So we'll go back and forth. We'll do, like, if people have questions, we'll do a couple of those, and then we can do a collective message, and then we'll dip back and forth. When I dip, you dip, we dip. Gotta make sure my cards are relatively faced upright. We're still in the pre-shadow of, or the post-shadow of Mercury retrograde, and that tends to turn the cards in reverse, which is fine, but I just like to make sure that they are organically meant to come out in reverse and not just as a byproduct of the energy. Sal, just curious about my Aries connection. Where's that heading? If could, any advice? Sure. Un momento, por favor. They come out reverse, but this energy is still lingering. There's also like a lot of, I don't know if you guys are noticing it, but there's definitely like a lot of interference kind of like in the airwaves. There's been like a lot of like really important messages and stuff that like I've been trying to get out that have been giving me trouble. So there's definitely like trickery afoot. So if you guys haven't, at the beginning of the month, it's always a really good time to reset your spiritual protections, your wards, stuff like that. If you haven't done that, it might be a good time. It is, 2/7/22. So just kind of with playing with those energies, it is a good time to kind of just brush up on your psychic hygiene if you haven't already this month. So let's see. So just curious about my Aries connection. Where's that heading? Have any advice? You guys not in contact that much? Feels sparse. Like small talk? Feels like there's a lot of small talk. The Queen of Swords. Feels standoffish. Like arm's length. So there's a pattern here, Sal, that I'm seeing. See the Queen of Swords, the Five of Cups, with the Chariot and the Pentacles, right? But then I'm also seeing the Four of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and then the Seven of Cups. So there seems to be like a pattern of behavior here where perhaps you tend to get really close, but then you or the other person kind of just slips away really, really quickly. It's almost like buyer's remorse or like stage fright. It's a little bit of that energy. Because the Queen of Swords with this Five of Cups is sort of saying that there is a recognition that one or both parties like could get hurt here. And so it almost feels like there is an intentional distance that's being kept to not create too much emotional intimacy. Right? But the Chariot and the Three of Pentacles says that if, you know, the head and the heart can get on the same page, there is room for collaboration here. But because I see the Four of Swords and the Eight of Cups with the Seven of Swords, it's sort of this, I feel like you're mirroring like the same kind of subconscious blockage of, right, the effort that it's going to require from both parties to work as a team is available. But the subconscious is blocking it and consistently pulling it in another direction. It's a form of self-sabotage that's coming out of a fear of being vulnerable, a fear of also being committed. The thing with the Three of Pentacles is once they start this project, they kind of have to finish it, right? And so it's like not wanting to fully sign on for the entire contract of this because of stuff that happened in the past. The Ace of Swords. So probably there needs to be like a real honest conversation, likely about boundaries, about things that happened in the past, ways in which the two of you could be kind of a better support system to each other. It feels like there is a massive amount of empathy that is needed in order to create the trust that is required in order to bridge this gap or overcome this subconscious blockage. Does that make sense? Especially with the King of Wands and the World and Judgment all coming out as well. There's a leveling up. There is a maturity. The King of Wands is very excited. He is very passionate, but he disciplines his passions. That's why he's seated and not in motion like the Knight. And part of this completion that we see with the World card is also recognizing the time people need in order to complete their own processes. And that, again, can be done together, but only through very compassionate and constructive conversations and by making good judgment calls, right? By considering the needs of yourself and the needs for others. So looking at it as a whole, yes, if we can have these conversations, we can put both heads and both hearts on the same page, and you can move forward really successfully into building something as a team. But there is a subconscious blockage, probably on both, that is being mirrored back and forth. And the way to cut through a blockage is with light. Light is the ultimate disinfectant. So through these honest conversations that are rooted in love and compassion, it will bridge that distance. Very good. Very good. Is it someone's birthday? Excited for the Virgo reading. I might need to get a piece of paper and make a list. I could use some guidance regarding my career path. Because you have fire signs. Feeding baby. Hello, everyone. Buzz. Oh, the baby! Anything wants to come for me? Hi, Garrett. Charlize, hello. All right. Okay, so who did I see next? So I hope that helped. I hope that helps, Al. Sarah. excited for my Virgo reading. I could use some guidance regarding my career path. Sounds good. Let's see. Let's see what wants to come up. Ooh. Just on the split. Wheel of Fortune on the split. That's nice. So oftentimes when we look at the Wheel of Fortune, we always correlate it to just good luck, right? And it absolutely is. It's favor. But the Wheel of Fortune also talks about your personal seasons as well. And the fact that it's on the split is just upright. It's a good indication that, Sarah, you are moving into like a personal spring. If you have been having difficulties with money, with work, with just finding opportunities, feeling kind of stuck and stagnant, they're actually showing me like someone's sneaker with bubble gum kind of stuck on the end, right? It's like kind of this annoying situation that you've been stuck in, you've had a hard time getting out. That Wheel of Fortune on the split, we're going to keep shuffling, is a good sign that you're going to get your sneakers clean and be able to move forward. But let's see a little bit more specifically what comes out, and then Jackie, and then we'll do Jackie next. Ooh, come here. What are you? The Lovers. I feel inclined to ask you what you want to do. What you want to do, not what you feel like you have to do. Lovers is a card of Gemini. It is a card of choice. The feminine on this card is looking up at the angel. Typically, I consider this to be like the Temperance angel. And so it feels as though there might be a direction you want to go in, or there might be kind of a calculated risk that you want to take. You might be hesitating taking it because you feel as though you don't have a safety net, or kind of spirit won't support you in that. The Queen of Wands is coming out, which tells me that, one, your success is intrinsically linked to your confidence. These are very confident cards. The Queen of Wands is a go-getter. She's energetic. She's vivacious. She's not elected as a leader. She puts herself up front. But the thing is that because she inspires other people, they rally around her cause. And so if there's something that you've been wanting to do, if you've been wanting a promotion, if you've been wanting to strike out on your own, the way you're going to get yourself unstuck is by being confident, being assertive as well. It's not aggressive, it's not dominant, but just being really assertive. It's kind of like miscongeniality, really needing to put yourself out there and do it. Almost like kind of volunteering or electing yourself for things. The Angel of Temperance. What did I say? Balance. Also, balance is needed. Wands energy is... It's very fast-paced. It likes to be in motion. It likes to be very sociable. The Lovers, as it being a card of Gemini, Geminis are also very sociable. They're very talkative. It feels like you might have spent a lot of time by yourself. You kind of might work from home. You might do something where you're not really in contact with like a variety of different people. This talks about like socializing. This talks about networking that's coming in. You may feel inclined to involve yourself in an industry or a particular place of work that is more fast-paced to help balance out the kind of stagnancy is sort of what I want to say in your personal life. Like if you are a very introverted person, you're very kind of passive and low-key in your private time, you might want to do work that is a little bit more energized and exciting and more social, right? Does that make sense to you? To kind of balance that out a little bit. There also seems to be a mixing of mediums here when we're looking at kind of this excited fire energy, sort of this very intellectual, mercurial energy. And then I see Temperance with these two cups. Sometimes Temperance reminds me of when I was a bartender for 10 years and you used to have the liquids in the shaker and the glass, and you'd kind of put them back and forth, so that way they could sort of marry together, emulsify, right? And so it seems like something where you can mix a lot of your talents, something where you can mix like a variety of mediums will be very stimulating and interesting for you. It's just a sense that you're a little bit bored because the focus is only on one thing. Does that make sense? The Knight of Wands The Knight of Wands is just asking you to be spontaneous. If there's something you want to go out for, something you want to apply for, even if it feels like you're girl boss and a little too close to the sun, do it. You never know. You never know how it's going to turn out. Again, it's very much of this Queen of Wands energy. Be spontaneous. Go with your gut. Put yourself out there. And you're going to be really surprised. Yeah, look at that. The world's coming up a lot today. The World and the Eight of Cups. And you're going to be really surprised at how quickly you're able to move forward into a new situation that is much more fulfilling for you. And part of the reason it's fulfilling is because, one, it's balancing out the energies that are lacking in your personal life. And two, it's just more stimulating because there's a lot more involved. It's a mixing of mediums or interests for you. I hope that helps. I hope that helps, Sarah. Jackie, I'm going to make a little list. Oh, thank you, MBA. That's very sweet. That's very sweet. Oh, actually, I'll put this here. I'll put that there. All right, let me see. Jackie. Woo. Oh, I've lost it. I've lost control of the chat. I believe my mom is in trouble, but I know the universe needs to get someone else to notice because no one is listening to me. Any insight? I'm in trouble. What kind of trouble is this? See the Five of Wands. I feel just off the bat, take it or leave it. It's just coming through. Jackie, is the idea is she really in trouble, or are you subconsciously working through a process where you are trying to reparent your parent? There is a sense that whatever it is that she may be struggling with is kind of like deep rooted. It comes from her childhood. It's something that extends past you. And I almost feel inclined to ask you not to take on too much of her own process, because it may come at an expense of your own equilibrium. But we're going to pull cards and we're going to see. But just right off the cuff, again, take it or leave it. I'm not perfect. That just initially is what's coming through. There is a hesitancy that it's like just kind of tread lightly in that. Also, I'm hearing like not everybody wants or is ready for help sort of thing. So you have to be mindful of that. Four of Wands and the Ace of Cups. One, initially, it doesn't look, just from the surface, it doesn't look like a big issue. Four of Wands is saying she's pretty safe in her community. I don't know if she lives in like a senior facility or like a retirement home, like one of those Florida kind of places, right? It's like it's very sunny here. The Ace of Cups, like this is looking like she's got people, she's kind of in her groove, like the environment around her is safe. She may be working on like her own personal healing as well. I see the Strength card. In terms of you, Jackie, I can also perceive this as you kind of being at a bit of a distance, sending love, sending harmony, allowing yourself to be of an emotional like support, right? But the Strength really talks about vitality. It talks about your energy levels. It talks about your confidence, kind of just being a little bit on the sidelines and just sending love, sending encouragement, even just checking in when you can check in, feels like it's more than enough. And it allows you to be a positive influence on her right now while also maintaining enough distance to maintain, again, your own energy levels, stay focused on your own healing journey. That seems to be really important. And I did notice that you say, because no one else is listening to me. And I understand like that can be super frustrating, right? Sometimes we can perceive a situation as being different than it may actually be, because of the lack of information that we have, right? If we're not in like a lot of dialogue with those people. And so there's just a sense of not projecting the worst case scenario. Let me pull one of these animal cards. Her energy feels okay though. I just don't want you to worry if there's not a super necessary reason to worry, right? The Hawk in reverse, there might be a little bit of distortion going on. Like you might be picking up like interference is kind of how I would rather phrase that. Intuitively. The owl, yeah, that just kind of confirms. Bye, DD, love you. Yeah, I think that's kind of confirming. Honestly, I don't think that you should worry too much. The situation seems pretty stable. It might not be perfect, but it seems pretty stable. And again, you might just be picking up like a little bit of interference, and that could be creating a sense that there is something more wrong than it is. And that might just be to drain your energy. Sometimes interference can do that. The owl is really asking you to just kind of clear everything, sort of go back in internally and just ask again. Ask again if there is like a real problem right here. See through the noise. The situation is likely, yeah, because I see the crocodile and the swan that's in reverse. The swan talks about sort of a need to reflect with this crocodile on like worst case scenarios or potential threats coming in that might not actually be that, right? Sometimes interfering energies, they will creep in to get like a stress response out of you because they can take that energy and enjoy it, right? Fill up their tank on it. Just be mindful of that. Let me scroll down and see. Did you say anything that I missed? Okay. I don't think so. All right. So, yeah. So, Jackie, I hope that helps. Everything, like I said, I just don't want you to be stressing if you don't need to be stressing, right? It seems like everything is okay. She's working her process. She's going through her healing journey. It may not look great to you, but it's all going kind of as it should be. These are really positive cards, so just know that. Let's see. Oh, Jennifer, I believe, is next. And I feel, okay, Jennifer, I feel really inclined to pull the Dark Grimoire Tarot for you, which is like it is like a shadow work type deck. So just anything that wants to come for you, it might be a little bit of shadow work. Let's see though. Let's see. She's probably like, oh, great. Should have never asked this lady for a tarot reading. Eve, I made you a moderator. Just in case we need one. Hi, Charlize. Albie, are the prices in the link? I'm just doing them, Mama. I'm just reading them. I did put my PayPal link up the top if anyone would like to tip, but it is not necessary. But I do appreciate it. Jennifer. So Jennifer, just off the bat, I feel pressure right here in my third eye, and it kind of stops like right in my heart. I feel it dropping into my throat like a, and then it kind of hits in my heart. So it's almost the idea of like a stone in your belly or like a knot in your stomach. I don't know if there is like a truth or some kind of information that you are intuiting that you don't want to look at or you don't want to believe is true. There might be something that you want to say to someone that you are having a hard time getting out. It feels like it has to do with information, or it has to do with truth. Something that maybe is not super pleasant or doesn't want to be looked at. But I do feel that pressure. It's right here in my third eye, and it kind of ends up in this gulp in my throat, and then it hits right in the heart space. So I'm almost wondering if there's some disappointing news that you may need to give to someone that you don't want to give. Maybe you don't want to hurt their feelings, perhaps. The Seven of Wands. It's something that you don't want to do. It's something about shining light on the darkness. Shining light on the darkness. It could be the darkness of a situation, the darkness of a relationship, some kind of distortion, or the word anarchy seems to be coming through a little bit as well. It's like disorder. That's the feeling. It's disorder. That you have to be the orderer in a lot of disorder, and that might not be something that you want to do. It kind of feels like you want to like mind your own business and like be in your own energy and not have to worry about it, but it feels like you are being encouraged or kind of pushed to step up and deliver some kind of message or create some kind of order, shine light on the darkness. But it kind of feels like you're the only one. There's only one guy in this card. Queen of Wands in reverse. Not feeling super confident in it. There's also some kind of like oppression in the environment. It almost feels like a bully or like an overbearing boss or like an overbearing like mother-in-law. Like there is something about that, having to stand up to an entity or a power that feels bigger than you or has more influence than you, and almost like you're the only one that can see the problem. The Queen of Wands says that you might not feel as though the attempt will even be successful, or you might not feel as though you have like the energy for it. It's almost like, why me? Why me? Three of Swords. Yeah, it's like this can of worms. See how she's opened up this book and there's all of these ghosts that are coming out? So it's like, why me? Why do I have to be the one to open up that can of worms? But I just heard because no one else will do it. The Knave of Swords. Because no one else will do it. I'm also hearing that like the truth will set you free too. It's the idea of, one, sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But also sometimes just suppressing your truth of how you feel about something, or when you see something that is wrong or something that is not balanced, not speaking up about it will do more damage to your spirit than opening up the can of worms. Does that make sense? The Knave of Wands. The Knave of Swords and the Knave of Wands. You might have to reconcile both like your masculine and your feminine energy, like your passive intuitive side, to figure out how to say whatever it is that you need to say or express or do whatever it is you need to do, and then pull in that masculine active energy to actually, it feels like a band-aid to go in and kind of just rip the band-aid. Do it really quickly. If you speak it very simply and very unemotionally, it feels like you will be received much more favorably in that manner, in that way. Let me pull one from over here. I'm hearing it's just not working. Something's just not working. King of Cups, stay composed. Composure is important. Discipline is also important as well with the King of Cups. He's very disciplined. He doesn't allow the emotionality of situations get in the way of him kind of completing what it is he needs to get done. It's the Magician. It's the King of Wands is really busy today. And the Moon card. You're able to see what the others can't see. If you avoid speaking up about it or doing something about it, bringing it to light, it's just going to torture you more. So again, be very composed, speak simply, unemotionally, and just tell what the others aren't seeing, like a band-aid, and then just move right past it and allow them to do what they want with that information. Very good. Very good. Let's see. Make sure I get everyone. I've done a lot of... Okay, Lindsay's next. Let me just scroll down and make sure. There's... I'm going to have to say hi, too. Jackie, Everlong. Brianna, hi. Bubblegum. Mel, hello, Mel. Hi, Ella. Yes. Palmer, hello. Dina, outside therapy experience. Check out the Leo reading. Oh, good. The Leo reading was wild. I said when I did the reading for tarot readers like a week or so ago, I was talking about how a lot of readers were very frustrated because the messages were just the same. It was just the same message coming out, sign after sign, week after week. But there was a shift in that coming. And I was just talking to one of my other reader friends about it yesterday, about how there's a shift in the stories that are coming forward. It's really exciting. Lily Lou, hello. I see your questions, and I am going to get to your questions. I just want to make sure I'm being polite and saying hello where I can. Hi, Kirsty. Hi, Nashville Mama. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. If you could add me to ask a question, moderator. What does that mean? I would love a couple for a question, too. Yeah, of course I'll add you to the list. You're very excited to check out the Leo reading? Yeah. Yeah, I'm scrolling back up. I just wanted to take a second to clear out the energy in between you guys and pop down and make sure I'm just saying hello to everyone. Saying hello. Good manners and all. Good manners. All right, let's see. Okay, I did Jackie. I did Jennifer. Lindsay, you're up next. I've done a lot of relational healing work and I feel ready for a conscious partnership, but nothing promising is showing up. What's up with that? Please and thank you. Fair question. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, you're not really going to come in with this when you least expect it. I'm going to need something just a little bit more. A little bit more for Lindsay, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ten of Wands. This burden. One, I always notice that he's not that far away from the town here. And so just initially, there is the feeling that you're not that far away from like a promising opportunity. But with that being said, don't watch the clock. The more you watch the clock, it's going to take you out of your present moment. We don't manifest in the future. We manifest in the present moment, right? Also, intuitively, I feel guided to ask you if about like your physical environment, if there is clutter, if you're holding on to like some old trinkets, some souvenirs, like stuff from old relationships, anything that might hold like the energetic frequency of like an old partner, I would either get rid of it or put it in storage. There's a sense of needing to nest. You've done like the preparation that is necessary, but there's a need to nest, like prepare the energy of your environment for something that is incoming. This is Four of Pentacles wants to come out. I'm wondering if there's a subconscious belief here, Lindsay, that the work doesn't pay off or that there isn't like the right partner for you. It's funny because it's the idea of like you've done all of this work, you do all of this work, the healing and just so much goes into it, right? But there is a sense of being in your comfort zone that you actually may be much more comfortable by yourself in your comfort zone without the stress of trying to engage in new relationships. It might be more comfortable for you than you are actually recognizing. And so that might actually be a little bit of a blockage. Mentally, we might want to find a bit of that middle ground of when I am ready for the right person to come along, but I'm also willing to allow it to come to me, right? I'm fine and I'm happy on my own. Again, presence. I am planning things. I am doing things, I am creating things in this now present moment. And if I bump into something, then that's wonderful, but I will allow it to kind of come to me. They're also part of with this Four of Pentacles too. It also feels a little bit like recovery. It feels like recompensing some of your energy that you exerted making it through this very challenging healing process. So it's the idea that there might still be just some weight on you because of how challenging healing and doing the self-love and working through those kind of old relationship paradigms, like all of that kind of needs to get washed off of you. That's probably part of the environmental clearing, nesting, preparing. It's that sort of thing. Preparing the mind, body, and soul to have a new experience and approach it with excitement and curiosity and not with like kind of that subconscious fear, right? That it will be another situation that mirrors that of the past. You have the Ace of Cups and you have the Strength at the bottom of the card. So again, it feels like something is coming in for you, but there is a small amount of patience. And because you're in a transition, you're transitioning from this solo journey into something that is more communal and relationship based. And so there is a sense of allowing you to slowly get your feet wet, mentally prepare yourself. I also feel inspired to ask you if you've thought about what your like ideal type of relationship is, or the qualities that you want in a partner, kind of getting a little bit specific about them. The word egalitarian is coming to my mind. What does equality look like in relationships to you? Not in comparison to what you've been in before, but really redefining all of that. How do you want to show up in relationships? How would you like other people to show up for you? What is your love language? How do you nurture others? How do you intend on staying present in your healing journey, investing in your future while maintaining and building a relationship with someone else? It's just some of these fine-tuned details that it feels like you're being encouraged to move through, right? While you are preparing the space around you. Yeah, Seven of Wands. It's a self-imposed challenge. Can I stay really present with myself and get really oh sorry, that message threw me off. Can I be really present in what I'm doing and challenge myself to think really kind of specifically about what I want? That way you'll be able to recognize it when it shows up. Because I do feel the sensation that whomever is making their way towards you, it's a little bit of a surprise. It may not be someone that typically, or at least in the past, you would have considered, and they may be easily kind of overlooked if you kind of haven't fine-tuned exactly what you're looking for. Does that make sense? Queen of Cups. You actually might already be talking to them, like telepathically in dreams, in the astral, something like that, kind of pre-calibrating the energies, your energies together. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Cancer reading that I did about those mirrored souls. Yeah, with the Knight of Wands. And then it feels like they'll just kind of come in. Is there like a specific Cups? So within the next 8 months, my specific question was, is there a time frame? The Eight of Cups. Cups are typically months, Pentacles are years, Swords are days, Wands are weeks. So within the next 8 months, so what is it? It's February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So any time within that window. It doesn't mean necessarily in, like, you have to wait 8 months, but it's somewhere within the bracket. Chariot at the top, somewhere within that bracket. Hello, hello. I see you, I see you. Thank you for the, hi Ella, thank you for the invite. Oh, Charlize is inviting people. You're so sweet. Charlize, baby, you're so good to me. Alan. So I hope that helped. I hope that helped. I was almost hesitant. I'm like, should I pull like a time frame card? Because sometimes they come out and it's like within the next 8 months, and you're like, that sucks. Like, but if it was me, like, I'd rather just know that, right? And sometimes when you have that time frame, sometimes they'll give you a bigger time frame so that way you stay really present, and then they'll, remember that Knight of Wands, they'll like sneak something in there for you. The Spirit likes to surprise you, especially intuitive people. That's the thing, because you can see everything coming, going, you can read people, you do the whole thing. So it's like they have to keep things kind of secret from us sometimes. Otherwise, we'll develop too big of a sense of power, right? We'll become omnipresent. So sometimes they gotta keep things secret. They keep little things secret from me all the time. Don't worry. You're like, I have a question. They're like, ask another, Lauren. So let's see. Alan is next. Guidance on my career path. I'm stuck on what I should be doing. My finances also in disarray. I can't seem to save anything. Okay. One, Alan, just intuitively, it feels like your finances are a reflection of your emotional state. Part of it has to do with safety and security. I wonder if you, one, learned poor money management skills from like your family. I did. So I get that. No judgment. Me too. I think everybody probably in the room could say the same thing. It feels like you've been lacking a sense of security and safety, like probably your whole life. You might have been looking to acquire that sense of security and safety through things like status, social standing, and money. And you might have just hit a point in your journey where that sense of safety and security needs to be found within, regardless of the environment, regardless of like the resources that you have. Does that make sense? Because it feels like your finances are a direct reflection of the lack of safety you feel within. Money, it is energy, but money is reflective. I know it's green, but it should be silver because it is reflective. We're stuck on what I should be doing. I'm wondering if you need more schooling. I'll see if like one of the pages or like the Ace of Swords comes out, but even the Hierophant, I'm wondering if you need more schooling. One, it kind of feels like you don't really like what you've been doing, and that's part of the reason why the money is drying up, is because you're trying to be guided towards a field or an industry or a type of work that is slightly more interesting for you. Does that make sense? It's almost like I was a bartender for 10 years. I talk about this sometimes. And I loved my job, and I loved everyone that I work with. Like even now, sometimes I miss it. Sometimes I miss it so much, the people and just the environment, everything. But I kept getting these messages that it was time to find like something else to do. And I knew that they had meant this, but I was really kind of putting it off. And what had happened at the end is like things at my job got kind of weird, and like the money wasn't super great all of a sudden, and like my schedule got all like screwy. Like it was that sort of thing that Spirit was basically like pushing me up. They were drying up that well, almost making it like uninhabitable for me, even though I loved the work and even though I loved everyone that I worked for and worked with. But they were doing it to try and basically like redirect me into another area. But let's pull a couple cards and let's see. The Three of Cups, the World, and the High Priestess. Do some of your friends have a business? Are you thinking about going into business with your friends? The Three of Cups talks about like shared celebration, shared creative projects, talks about sociability, something that was talking about bartending, so maybe it's some kind of like service industry, something like that. One, I don't like to talk about like purpose all the time, like what's my divine purpose, but there almost seems to be this feeling of really sitting down and asking yourself, asking your creator, however you define that, like, what am I supposed to be doing? Right? Sometimes we go, why isn't this working? But it's like, what are you supposed to be doing? Like, what's the right kind of work for you? How can you be of the biggest service to others while also being of benefit to you? Nine of Cups. It's something about personal fulfillment here. There's a different kind of work. Feels like you're supposed to do a different kind of work. It might actually be work that is much more social. It might be something like hospitality as well, like management. Ten of Swords. You've come as far as you can go in the field that you're in, Alan. You've come as far as you can go. And the Knight of Pentacles says that you kind of need to start working towards something new. That might be why the energy of like schooling or certification, something like that seems to be coming through. I don't necessarily think it's like a going back to college, but it does feel as though there is some kind of certification or some new skills, something that you can add onto your resume. It feels like a pivot. It doesn't feel like you're being asked to jump into a completely different thing, going from being a police officer to a kindergartner teacher, right? But it feels like just being asked to pivot sort of within the field that you're already in into something that is more satisfying for you. It also gives you a greater sense of freedom. Also, shared responsibility seems to be coming in as well. Ten of Cups, yeah. Shared responsibility, feeling like things aren't always like on you to complete and to do. It feels more like group work, teamwork. That is very common in hospitality. It's also very common in like community service, community leadership, stuff like that. I'm not seeing any Wands cards in here, Alan, but I also am sort of picking up this energy of activity, like physical activity. Maybe even something like coaching. Like I see like kind of like kids on like a soccer field, like something like that. Like again, team leader, shared responsibility, a little bit more fast paced. You don't feel like you can do it though with the Eight of Swords. One, the Eight of Swords is coming out over the Knight of Pentacles. And so there might be this energy of like instant gratification. Like you just want to make a big change really fast, but it feels like it's supposed to be more incremental. Part of the reason why it's an incremental skill building, an incremental pivot, an incremental pulling in new accreditation. It's that sort of thing because there is this issue of security, of safety, especially around your resources that it's coming in. And so by making these pivots in these small increments, it allows you to address those fears and those subconscious blockages as they come, as opposed to completely just jumping ship, starting something new you might not feel super comfortable in, and then just being shell-shocked. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Yeah, the Ace of Wands and then the Page of Wands. Yeah, the indication is to just move forward really, really quickly into something new. But the Devil card comes out, which says that it will kind of shock the nervous system a little bit. And that the Seven of Cups and the Ace of Swords. What did I say? The Ace of Swords and then the Judgment card. Explore your options. Look around at similar fields in which you can pivot to while working through this fear or lack of security or safety that you have emotionally, because it's just being reflected in the money. That's all it is. It's just reflecting in the money. And see if there aren't some options for you that can be a little bit more fulfilling. Take pressure off of you by working in more group dynamics, especially if they are a little bit more physically active, right? Allows you to be more in motion because feels like you do want to be in motion in general. But again, with that High Priestess, make sure you're going in and asking to be directed in a certain direction. Ask like, what am I supposed to be doing? Like kind of what is my purpose? Ask them. It feels like those aspects of your blueprint are available to you if you ask. It's not where can I make the most money? It's where am I going to be the happiest? Because money follows happiness. I hope that helps. But they're pointing it out. At the bottom of the deck, there's the Nine of Swords, but then there's the Six of Wands. So it is just a comfort and a reminder to you that the things that you're stressing about right now are things that you are going to overcome. You will overcome this and you will be in a better position probably in like the next 6 weeks to 6 months than you are right now. So just take that as a comfort and a reassurance. We have Ella. Let me just scroll down and say hello. Kissy Cat, Palmer. Hold on. I just saw something. Where is it? You saw the Death, the Tower, the Ten of Swords, and the Hangman, Palmer? Scare the living bejesus out of me. Could you pull what? Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll pull. It just feels like you're avoiding a change that you don't want to make. But I will pull absolutely cards for you. The reading for readers was on point. Oh, thank you, Eve. Kate. Hello, Kate Adams. Hello, Caribbean Queen. Oh, your ex left some things. Lindsay, yeah, you gotta get that shit out of your house. Nashville Mama, you are on my list. Ella. I see you, girl. Holly, hello. Testing. Is this thing on? Go with the long time frame. Only want what's going on. Okay, good. I'm glad. I know those time frames are rough sometimes, but I'd rather have it and just know it than, 3 decades is for a time frame. If I asked for a time frame, Palmer, and I got the Empress, I would see it as the next season. The Empress is very seasonal. She works in harmony with nature, so I would say it would either be in this season or the next season. Okay, let me scroll back up. So I feel like we got a little... I should really have a piece of paper and be keeping, like a list, like an appropriate, proper list. But I'm kind of just eyeballing it right now. That's enough out of you down there. I appreciate your assistance, but it is unneeded right now. Thank you. Okay, Ella, may I ask a question? I have a party event next Saturday, but you feel sluggish, not motivated. Is there something being done to make me feel this way? If so, can I help stop it? Okay. You have an event and you feel sluggish. Are you just, like out of the groove? That's kind of the first thing I want to ask. It's like, Ella, are you just kind of out of the groove? I'm hearing that song, get into the groove, yeah, you got to prove your love to me, yeah. Something being done to make me feel this way. I said that, and then my left eye just started watering. Let me see. The otter in reverse. Ella, are there going to be people at this event that you may not want to see? Like some old friends or some old colleagues, some exit. Like, are there people that you might not want to see that are there? So listen, it doesn't feel like there is magic being put on you. It doesn't feel like you are intentionally being psychic attacked. It doesn't feel like there is like an attachment. It doesn't feel like there's a spell or anything like that. What you may be experiencing is like a little bit of like evil eye energy, which is like cold shoulder, envy, jealousy, like stuff like that. The otter upright is like this really fun, it's very sociable, it's very friendly, it's kind of a 3 of Pentacles, it's a very cooperative card, right? And it's coming out in reverse, which is why I was asking, is it possible that there might be people there that like maybe you might not want to see, or you may have some history with, right? That subconsciously is kind of making you not want to go. That being said, energy is fluid, so there could be people at this event that maybe don't want to see you, and they just kind of mean mugging you a little bit. It doesn't feel like there's magic on you, but it definitely feels like there is some kind of karma wrapped up in this event, either people you don't want to see, or perhaps people that don't want to see you, or don't understand why you'd be invited. There is something like that. 1, I see the shark, and 2, I see the zebra in reverse, which part of the reason why may be that you stand out. Zebras tend to blend in, right? You might stand out. You might kind of just garner like a lot of attention when you go out just because of who you are, right? Just like your natural energy just kind of draws people to you, right? So it could be something like that, that there may be people at that event that don't want you kind of taking their limelight, right? It could be something like that. Honestly, it feels petty. It doesn't feel like black magic. It just feels like it's something that is petty. And it's probably draining your energy, right? They're going to be surprised, though, because the buffalo and the stingray are coming out. Stingray, for me, talks a lot about emotional harmony. See how there's, like, all of the balance here? And buffalo talks a little bit like this tower moment, but it usually comes through in, like, a really positive way. One, in terms of dealing with this energy, I would expand your force field. I would, whatever negative energy that you feel like you may be pulling in right now, you have two options with it. One, you can clear it out. You can absolutely clear it, and you can regain your energy back. Clear out your space, do a spiritual bath, claim sovereignty over your energy. Great. What you can also do, when people send you the evil eye or people send you just any kind of janky energy, you can actually keep it. You are powerful, and you can transmute it into more energy for yourself. So if someone were to send me hate, I could clear it out, right? Or I could also keep it, transmute it, and use the hate that someone sent me to help me manifest the stuff that I want in my life. It's free energy, right? So part of what seems to be kind of being guided to you is, one, either clear out the energy, reset your chakras, and then roll in there like a bat out of hell. Or you can keep all of that negative juju and you can transmute it and you can use it for like a glow up in the next week. It does feel, you cannot go to this thing. It is a free will choice, but there does seem to be this energy that's encouraging you to go anyway. To go, to show up, to be your vivacious, your unique self. Not everyone's gonna like you, and that's okay. It's not a problem. But how people feel about you shouldn't keep you from doing the things that you want to do. If you are being included, it's good to be included. It's good to show up in a place that you are welcome. If you are being invited, it means that you are welcome there by the people that are throwing it, hosting it, right? So if anyone else is intimidated, that says more about them than it does about you. Don't allow it to drain your energy. Your energy is your property, right? So you can clear it out, brace yourself, and get on in there. Or you can transmute all of that energy for your own purposes, like a glow up, to help you manifest, to give you more confidence, right? I hope that helps. I know it's kind of a shitty situation, but I think that we've all been really isolated for a really long time, right? And if there's a fun event, something exciting to go to, and you can get dressed up and you can feel good and you can go and you can be social, I think that's way more important than any kind of janky energy that anyone wants to throw at you, right? I mean, people are going to do what people are going to do. Yeah, people are going to do what people are going to do. Don't let them project it onto you. You don't need it. So just shift that energy, claim it as your own. Look on the split. Hold your emotional composure, stay disciplined, and go out there. It feels like be really diplomatic, right? It's like look good, be on good behavior, show up, smiles, do the thing. Don't let them keep you down. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Scroll down because I know you said something. Everlong is keeping a list. You are... Kiss you. Thank you. Oh, I feel like you just thinking I missed it. Okay, one cleared out from unit. Oh, it's on him. Oh, it's on and popping out. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of energy we like in this house, right? We don't burn bridges. Greatness does not burn bridges. We walk over them with grace. That is what we do in this house. It's not always easy, but it is worth it. Marcus Aurelius always said that the best revenge or the best vengeance is not being like the other people. Character, integrity, that's who you are when no one's watching. That's what counts. That's what matters. Sometimes it's not about flexing on other people. Sometimes it's just the knowledge that you are not like them. And you don't have to do that, and you can stay in your grace. That's character. Ballroom decorations and selling candy apples. How fun. Those would murder me. I'm allergic to apples. It's my Snow White syndrome. Good for you. Have fun. Heck yes, make a candy apple. That's okay. We don't compete when there's no need to compare. Current list is in order. Brianna, outside therapy, Lily, Dina. You are just... Did you ever know that you're my hero? That's for you, Eve. You're everything I wish I could be. Brianna, let me find Brianna. Where are you? Shem the non-believers. I'm in a funny ass mood today. You see me? So I'll give you a little tip. So I've been talking in some of the videos, and I've definitely been talking a lot about Patreon, about doing these kind of command prompts, right? Spirit, please connect me to the highest frequencies of my rightful timeline, stuff like that. And something that I told them on Patreon is that we do other prompts. So I have a prompt called The Pursuit of Happiness, which when I ask them, like, Spirit, can you please download The Pursuit of Happiness? Because I see the cosmos, I see all of us as like kind of like these little supercomputers, right? The universe is made up of math. They'll download The Pursuit of Happiness, which allows me to see like the silver lining, allows me to see kind of like over the bullshit, and just really into like all of the glass half full. But I have another prompt called the Laugh Track, and I woke up this morning and I was feeling like a little rough around the edges. I was feeling a little friction. And so I asked Michael, can you please download the Laugh Track for me? And the first thing I heard is he goes, asking me for favors already. It's like, yeah, I'm asking for a favor. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning and I need a favor. I need the Laugh Track. And ever since, I've just been in like a silly, goofy mood like all day. So if you feel like the energy is really heavy and you just need a laugh, just ask whoever you work with. I like to ask Michael, but can you just please download the Laugh Track for me? Give it like a half hour to 45 minutes, and you'll just start giggling your ass off. It's just the way it is. Say, you didn't see a question? Let me scroll. Maybe I missed it. Let's see. Brianna, there is your question. Did you ask a question? Ella, okay, did Ella... Oh, here we go. Okay, I see you, Brianna. Will my finances get better soon? Let's see. I found you. I'm like a greyhound. I'll find you. There's something coming up about savings. I wonder if you... I'm sure you want to save more money, but there is something about your savings. You might have been saving towards something specific. It kind of feels as though Spirit sort of knew you'd be going through a lull right now, and part of the savings that you do have are meant to supplement that. Queen of Pentacles. So one, Queen of Pentacles talks about saving. One, this is a good indicator of yes, that you're... Oh, I found it. I found her question, Ella. Thank you so much. I scrolled, but I found it. Like a greyhound, yeah. The Queen of Pentacles says, one, that yes, your money is going to get under control pretty soon. Savings is very important. It feels like saving money is kind of like a little bit of like a karmic test or a challenge for you. You might get like large amounts of money, or when money comes in, you might find yourself running through it very quickly. The Queen of Pentacles is like the queen of like domestic affairs. So she really plots out like a budget, a schedule, stuff like that. I like to say that the universe doesn't cash checks unless there's something written on the memo line. And so now feels like a really good time to put in petitions spiritually for more money, but to also get really clear on what it is you want it for. Do you want it to move? Do you want it to invest in the community? Do you want it for a new place to live? Like there is something about putting a petition in, particularly probably with your ancestors, as this is a very family heavy card, for financial assistance. but to be specific about what you want to use those for. You might be like a specific manifester. Some people are kind of broad manifestors. Some people are very specific. But it feels as though there's financial literacy and planning that seems to be really important for you right now. It feels like, again, the Queen of Pentacles says that the finances are shifting. They are coming in. But there is a need here to plan not only what you want to use them for, but how you're going to use them, how you're going to budget them. So just kind of popping around like Google or YouTube, pulling in like a little bit of financial literacy, how to make like a budget, stuff like that is really going to show like universe, spirit, that not only do you have the ability to allow yourself to receive financial assistance, right, divine assistance, but also that you can be a good steward over it. That when it comes in, it won't immediately go back out, that there is a plan and there is a structure for it. Does that make sense? Yeah, the Ace of Cups, that's a healing. That's a healing coming in. And then with the Queen of Swords, this is, again, she's the best judge other than the Justice card. So this is being a good judge of money, how to spend it, what to spend it on, how to budget it, also what is fair. So there also might be a little bit of discipline coming in to ask yourself, do I need this? Is this necessary? Would it be more beneficial for me to save my money and put it towards something else? It's that sort of thing. Very good. Very good. Also, just as a side note, the King of Cups is coming up. While you're making your petitions for more money, it might be like a really good benefit for you to also plan to allot a little bit of money to something creative or something that's fun for you, right? A workout class, an art class, painting supplies, something like that, so that way you have a creative outlet. Physical exercise and creative outlets are two of the best ways to keep your energy centers unblocked. You could take that all the way to the bank. You take it to Wells Fargo. You bet your bottom dollar. Creative exercises and physical exercise is the best way to keep your energy unblocked, which is the best way to keep love, peace, and money flowing to you. That's what I got to say about that. And that's coming from a girl who does not like to work out. And you will find my ass doing crunches now just because they help me clear my energy. So outside therapy experience, you are next. The OTE. That's what I'm going to start calling you, the OTE. Hello, now we're excited to check out the Leo reading. Keep getting messages about divine timing and get busy for my business. Wondering if you could shed some light. Immediately it just feels like you're probably coming into, you're coming into station. They're showing me, what the fuck was that? They're showing me like diagonally, which is funny because that's what, it's platform 9 3/4, right? It's not 9 and it's not 10. And so you might be like sort of, divine timing might come in at a time that is a little bit unexpected for you. Does that make sense? If you're like, I think it's going to be in the beginning of April and it comes in like February 28th, right? Like it comes in at a little bit of, differently than you might think. Feels like you're coming into station though. They're almost showing me a vision of you like inside a train, like looking around, making sure like you have all the stuff, like you don't leave anything on the train. Lily, I can see your question, by the way, Mama. I see it right underneath outside therapy experience. So you don't have to rewrite it if you don't want to. I don't even have I might put my glasses on soon. I might put my glasses on. Let's see. I'm seeing one in terms of getting busy for your business. They're showing me like organizers, like paperwork. It's that sort of thing. So if there is like a website that you need to make, or like a rebranding, a remodeling, getting email account, like it feels like paperwork. It's like those fine-tuned like little details, stuff like that If you haven't done it, now's a good time to do it. If you're thinking about reworking it, now's a good time to rework it. What are you? 8 of Pentacles. What did I say? Now's a good time. Now's a good time to get back at it. It also sticks out to me in this 8 of Pentacles that there is a display here. The way, I wonder if you have any Libra placements, but it feels like the way you display your work, kind of the aesthetics of your business feel important. Not more important than the quality of your work, obviously, but it's sort of the drawing factor. Like if people were walking past this guy, they might not exactly pay attention to what he has in his hand, but they will pay attention to the body of his work that is displayed. And so there might also be something about your experience, your body of work, your resume, something like that that you want to also kind of make highlight it a little bit more is what I want to say. 8 of Wands. Now's a good time to reflect. Oftentimes when we look at the 9 of Wands, we talk about boundaries and resistance and stuff like that. But really, as well, when we look at the 9 of Wands, it's the first time in the Wand suit where they actually stop and actually take a chance to look back and reflect on what they're doing. It may also serve you, that part of preparing to come into alignment with divine timing is also reflecting on the work that you've already done. Where could you make improvements, right? It's non-critical, it's just analytical. Where could you make more improvements? In what areas of your business can you be working smarter and not harder? In what way can a little bit of invention or fine-tuning serve you a lot more, or make it more appealing to the audience or the consumer that you are promoting it to? Does that make sense? Gorgeous. Yeah, strength and the King of Cups. That's absolutely beautiful. Again, composure, emotional discipline. The King of Cups, his ass is on a schedule. And the Strength card, which talks about energy, it talks about vitality. Oftentimes when we will be asked to be busier than we normally are in the moments before kind of a manifestation hits, or before we kind of come in contact with divine timing. And part of what that is to increase our capacity for more work or to take on more energy. So often before I have like a jump in my channel, or before I have an influx of new clients come in, I will find that they will get me up earlier. They will have me start working on a lot of new projects, putting out random live streams and videos and stuff like that, because they're trying to increase my capacity to take on more work, to take on more energy, right? To be busier. It's a little bit of preparing for that. And so again, a schedule, a routine, get your paperwork in order. If there's anything that you need to do in terms of your bios, your website, the way you display your stuff, that seems to be important as well, just to kind of get them in the door, kind of something a little bit more eye-catching, something that's interesting. And again, look back on the body of work that you have. Be proud of yourself for all of the work you've invested thus far, but also be honest with yourself about where you can make adjustments to make things more streamlined moving forward. Where can you work smarter and not harder? Where will little innovation, individuality, or adjustment pay off dividends? Sometimes it's these small adjustments, and sometimes those adjustments also have to do with our scheduling and how we're taking care of ourselves. The King of Cups also pulls in he's a sponge. He pulls in a lot of energy from other people. And so making sure that you're on top of your like emotional and intuitive, like your psychic hygiene also seems important as well, right? And that did come after that message I just gave before about like exercise and so having an outlet, like something like that, especially if your business used to be your hobby. Sometimes those of us, and I've experienced this firsthand, when we take something that we're interested in, that's like a hobby or a side thing that we do, and we create it into a business, even if it's a side business, we have to find something else that is non-monetizable to fill up that need for an outlet. Otherwise, we start to get like a little bit squirrely. Does that make sense? Lily Lou. Let me scroll down. Let's be hens. Hi. Aloha from the Big Island. Howdy from New Jersey. Let me scroll down and see what you guys are saying. Eve is awesome. Let me put my specs on so I can hear the chat. Charlie's is so funny. Such freaking love here. Oh, good. I'm so glad. I am so lucky. I am so lucky. Good thing you're a gym rat. Nashville mama. Puddle don't care. Thank you, Charlize. Listen, order, outside therapy. Did it. All right, let's see. Someone up at the top. Let's be hens. Is from the Big Island. All right, let me see. Lily Lou, Dina, Nashville Mama, Palmer, Loon, Let's Be Hens, and Design Ninja. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it off, Eve, at Design Ninja. And then we'll see where we're at then. Very good? Very good, because I want to be mindful of everyone's time, and I want to be mindful of my energy levels. So we're going to cut it off for now at Design Ninja. I'm going to get through the rest of the list, and then we'll see where we are. Yes? Yes. Okay. Oh, not from, but you're there? Cool. That's awesome. If I ever take a vacation, my first stop will be Ariel's. Let's scroll up. Scroll in. Rolling with the homies. What just came up in my head? Clueless? That movie Clueless? That's an Easter egg for someone. Scroll up. Look at you little chatters. Okay, I see you. Now I see you. Okay. My little Lily Lou. What a cute name. So glad to see you live. Thank you. So glad to see you too. Can I please have guidance on moving away from my karmic relationships and into connecting with those I feel are soul family, especially for career? Absolutely. Okay, we're going to pull out the grimoire. We're going to pull out the shadow deck. Oh, thanks, Holly. You're so sweet. I just woke up with like a bunch of energy. I woke up like a little bit cranky. So I was like, I don't understand that dream. And then I asked Michael to download the laugh track for me. And I've just been giggling ever since. I did the Virgo reading. That was good. I put out the weekly energy report on Instagram. Doing good. It's a nice rainy day. Jersey. Oh, I love the rain. That's too many. Is it too many? Maybe it's not too many. Let me see, Lily. One, Lily, I feel like this advice came through a little bit ago for someone else, but there's something about getting clear on the specifics of what kind of soul family, what kind of relationship that you want. Because one, you have the Magician card coming out, and so it feels like very quite fervently like you are kind of focused and you're working on this, but it also feels like, see this point of light on this page? It feels like it's trying to highlight something to you that you might not be noticing. The sun is coming out, but it is connected with the 10 of Cups in reverse. And so there might be this habit that you have when it comes to karmic relationships of any type, romantic, platonic, professional, that sometimes you may see the potential of something, you may see the potential of someone. It's the idea of like not all that glitters is gold, and then you end up finding with that 10 of Cups in reverse that it's not real soul family, they're not really your friends, they're not good like colleagues, this isn't the right person for you to be with, right? When in the beginning, they looked like quite sunny. And so there might be this tendency that you have to involve yourself, wrap yourself in, develop a story around people that, because the High Priestess comes out, so it's like intuitively you pick up a connection between someone or something, and then immediately you classify it as the Sun card. You feel a connection, so you're like, so this is a connection, this is good, this is going to be great, without really questioning it. And that behavior, like that habit, right, is a bit of a blind spot that you may feel the initial connection, but without exploring like the underbelly layers of why you feel connected to that person, you may consistently find yourself in unfulfilling relationships and connections. So when you feel that initial pull towards someone, ask yourself, where is this pull coming from? Read into the timeline. I did a reading for someone. I know, it was for a zodiac sign. It was a few weeks ago, but I was talking about, I think it was a Cancer reading. It was talking about looking beyond the pentacle, right? When you get like an ace, the Ace of Cups or the Ace of Pentacles, one of the aces, you see it as like this new opportunity, right? Great. But sometimes we have to look at the timeline that is connected past that pentacle. So maybe there's a connection because there's a past life that you guys shared. Maybe there is that initial connection because there's a mirroring of karma. Maybe there is that connection for a variety of reasons. But the connection is not always the direction that we want to be going in. Does that make sense? Because the King of Cups is coming up next. He's been very popular today. And so it's the idea that when you get this intuitive hit, do you see how in the Magician, you're looking at this book? But then in this High Priestess, you're actually allowing the light to shine up on you to consult your own divine oracle about, why do I feel this connection? Is this going to be good for me? Is this real, or is this like kind of a counterfeit type of connection? And sort of hold space and wait for the answer. You will get an answer. Spirit sometimes answers questions a little bit like how Amazon delivers packages, right? It like usually comes within like 2 or 3 days. It's like prime shipping. And consult with the oracle, read into that timeline that is connected to that person or that opportunity. Read into the underlayers. Be a little bit disciplined. Don't allow too much wishful thinking, right? Allow the answer to come in. Allow yourself to feel out those connections. And then make a decision. Because doing it that way, it's going to require a little more patience. It's going to require you to kind of put a cap on too much wishful thinking. But what it's also going to do, it's going to prevent you from projecting a potentiality onto people, places, and things that may not have the capacity to live up to that expectation. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Also ask yourself, why am I drawn to this person? What are they sparking up in me? What is it? Is it the feeling of being included? Is it the feeling of being appreciated? Is it the feeling of being like connected to someone? Like where is that? Again, part of this is also like this internal reflection. That's part of what you're being asked to do while you're kind of waiting for that sign or that answer to come in, while you're exploring the energies connected to these people. It's a, baby, you can do it. Take your time. Do it right, right? It's like, take the time to do it right. Take the time to like snuff out that energy. As you begin to do this more consistently, your intuition, when you get that impulse that there's a connection, as time goes on, when you feel that connection, your intuition will immediately give you the rest of the information. I feel this connection, this is what it is. And you'll know whether to move forward or whether to move away from it. But because that's not fully established yet, you're still in the process of just having to get used to doing this as a new thing, right? It's part of the transition process for you. Integrating new skills, new thought processes, and new levels of patience. Does that make sense? Oh, wait, make sure that makes sense. Make sure that makes sense. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Soul Food. Thanks, Cass. Yeah, hit that like button. Show me some love. Sometimes YouTube doesn't push my stuff out. Oh, did we get a bot? Yeah, kick him out of here. Kick him out. Yep, exploring your Neptune in the 7th house. Yep, it's that dreamy, it's that dreamy energy. And I get it, because honestly, this is something that I used to do too. And I had to work really hard on, no, let me be patient. Let me not wishful think myself into a disappointment. Let me take a minute and really read into the energy. And sometimes when that happens, you get some information that you don't like, that maybe this isn't the right person for you, or that's not the right group for you, right? But I'll tell you something. Within the last year, anytime that I have been let down or hurt by a person, by a colleague, by a group of people, it's because I didn't listen to my initial instinct that told me that those people or that person wasn't for me. And I allowed my wishful thinking to move further than what my eyes were actually seeing. And so, from one recovering wishful thinker to another, it's challenging, it's a new energy to integrate, but it is worth it. And it actually allows you to move forward and trust other people, trust the connections that you have with them more, because you took the time to really check in and what their energy was saying, and how it was going to really mesh with yours, right? These are new skills, but you got this. You absolutely got this. I do see the 9 of Cups in reverse as well. So it's just a reminder that fulfillment, a sense of being a part of the all, it is immediately a feeling that comes from within as well, right? So just remind yourself of that you should always be your biggest cheerleader. You should always be your best friend. You should always be looking out for yourself the way that you would look out for your friends, for your family, right? Don't forget to do that, because you deserve it. Thanks, Charlize. You guys are the best. You guys are so good to me. I deeply appreciate you. I really do. Make a girl feel so special. Dina, National Mama, Palmer, Miloon. Baby, you can do it. Take your time. Do it right. Let me find you, Dina. I'm gonna find you, Noodle. I'm noodling around. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. Baby, you can do it. This was stuck in my head. Even though I was on Patreon before, and Kirsty messaged something like back to life, back to, and it was stuck in my head for like hours. So now this is a new song. Okay, here you are. Here you are, Dina. I've been struggling getting out of bed and to do anything really. Life has been feeling like a stretch. Is it gonna pass, or do I need therapy? One, everyone needs therapy. Everyone needs therapy. Oftentimes, like, spiritual communities are how people seek therapy outside of, like, psychologists, right? So one, everyone needs therapy. I need therapy, you need therapy, everyone needs therapy. It's just, what is your therapy, right? Like OTE, outside therapy experience. For me, therapy is going out in nature. Therapy is doing my thing. Like, we all need a little help from our friends, right? But let's see. Get out of bed and to do anything really. You know what? Let's do a little something right here. Ooh, it feels hot in here. Where's Oprah? Oh, we got a flyer. Hold on, hold for production. Okay, we have a golden egg, Dina. That is a good sign. But it's buried. So one, I just initially want to say, your sparkle, like your zest for life, like that feeling of feeling kind of golden again, it's not gone. It's just buried underneath some shit, right? So it's just important to know that. The state that you're in, it's not permanent. It is just temporary. I'm also hearing byproduct. It is a byproduct. A byproduct of what? Well, it could be of society. It could be of, an almost 3-year pandemic. It could be a byproduct of collective energy. It could be the accumulation of all of the really intense healing work that you have been doing for a really long time. And maybe you're burnt out and you're tired because you've been on a spiritual journey and a healing journey in a very sick world, in kind of just a chaotic collective storm Of course, you're going to be burnt out. Of course, you're going to be tired. So don't beat yourself up for not being at like a bright and sunny level, right? No one expects you to be, and it is completely natural that you are in a slump, and it is only temporary. And all of these really shiny bits of you, this golden energy, this buried treasure, it's just that. It's just buried. It just got put to the side. Okay, that's very important for you to know. Jump into bed and do anything. When you say that, also, I have this instinct to ask you, like, well, what are you getting out of bed for? Right? Sometimes we need a reason to get out of bed. And sometimes that means that we kind of have to find things that are inspiring for us, that are exciting or interesting for us. Sometimes it is ways in which we have to discipline ourselves. It's like when you don't want to go to the gym or you don't want to work out, but you force yourself to do it anyway because you know it'll be good for you, and you get out and you feel really good because endorphins, right? Like, so there is a mix here on how to kind of bridge this gap, get over this hump, is a combination between self-discipline, doing things that will be healthy and constructive for you, even if you don't really feel like doing them, but also finding things that are inspiring and interesting to you that make you want to get out of bed. Also, you feel too isolated. Just off the bat, you feel way too isolated. It may really serve you to like reach out to community, like being in a live chat, like stuff like this is really good, like to do more of that. Call people, like if you haven't been answering phone calls, like allow support to come in. Oftentimes spirit will want to bring other people into our lives because they will help introduce new energy and offset some of that stagnancy, right? The 9 of Swords in reverse. One, this is nice because it is a sign that you're coming out of that stress, you're coming out of that anxiety, you're coming out of that melancholy. Now, this 9 of Swords card is intense because he has this moment where he looks in the mirror and he goes, what have I become? Like, what is happening to me? And sometimes, see the Ace of Swords, and sometimes it just takes that moment where we kind of, and I mean this with all of the compassion and love in the world. And this is a conversation that I had with one of my friends, and they can attest to it. And there's a conversation I had to myself a few weeks ago. That sometimes we have to like be bigger than our own bullshit, where we kind of look at ourselves and go, I'm so sick of this. It's almost like using anger as a motivator, right? As frustration as fuel. And going, what has become of me? How did I get in this position? I can't live like this anymore. I gotta do something different. Fuck it, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna go for a run. I'm gonna paint a picture. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna do something. I just need to do, I can't sit in here anymore. Eventually, you will hit that point, right? Which is confirmed by the fact that this 9 of Swords is in reverse. And when that happens, this Ace of Swords tells us that you will immediately feel the shift. When you pick up that phone and you allow yourself to go be social with others. When you sit up and you know, you take a short walk around the block. When you allow yourself to explore something new, right? It's like it just naturally shifts up the energy and you go, oh, that's what I needed, right? Sometimes it is variety is the spice of life. And it helps bring out this golden egg energy. Don't forget that eggs also are really symbolic of the womb, and they are symbolic of protection. And so you might have actually been going through like a bit of a womb healing. And you may be getting ready to like plant these new seeds, but the seeds are in this new land that you're moving into, moving forward. You have another ace, the Ace of Pentacles too. So you're going to get a new idea. It feels like a new idea comes in for you. This is what I'm going to do. This is what it is. Screw it, I'm going to start working out. Screw it, I'm going to start a creative project. Screw it, I'm going to join a support group. Screw it, I'll go to therapy. I don't even care, but I got to do something. And once you do it, it's like this new opportunity. It presents itself to you, right? And now the thing is, though, is that then you have to stay consistent to it. Part of this Ace of Pentacles feels like consistency is important. That also goes to your routine as well. I had, this 2 nights ago, I went to bed at 9:30 and I woke up at 2:30 in the morning. So I got like 4.5 hours of sleep. I was up for the rest of the day. The Patreons can attest to this because I did a channeled message for them at 3 o'clock in the morning. And all throughout the day, I was lagging. I was melancholy. I was so miserable because I was so tired. I get up at like 5:30 in the morning anyway, but 2:30 was rough. But in the middle of the day, I said, fuck it. I'm not going to allow myself to sit in this anymore. I got to do something different. So I got up, I went tanning, I worked out, I cleaned, I did the stuff that I had to do to kind of re-regulate my circadian rhythm. I made sure I stayed up till like 10 o'clock. I went to bed. I had a great night's sleep. I woke up at my normal time. I got all my shit done, right? And so I think that might be where the discipline is coming in. Regulating out your circadian rhythm, getting yourself on a little bit of a new schedule. Doing things that you know are healthy and constructive for you, whether they are physical, whether they are creative, maybe seeking something like therapy, or at the very least, it just feels like you need more community, more of a support system, even if it's not therapy, just being social in general. Pick up your phone. It feels like you have messages that you're not answering. You might not be answering your messages because you feel melancholy. You might not want other people to know that you're in a bit of a slump. That's okay. They will actually help pick you up out of that slump, and you will very quickly move out of this energy. Page of Cups at the top of the Rider-Waite. You will very quickly, look, Six of Cups, you will very quickly move out of this energy. You will move into supportive environments, and you will start to feel a lot more comfortable. King of Cups is the belle of the ball today. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. You will get through it. It is temporary. Look, Cosmic Egg. This is my world card. So you're almost at the finish line. So just hold on. Hold on for one more day and really try and implement some of these tools that we were just talking about. And I think you're going to see the shift really quickly. They're showing me a light switch. It's going to feel like night and day. Literally within a matter of like, it almost feels like 48 hours. You're going to feel a lot better. And thank you to everyone who's been tipping and been donating. I'm seeing it kind of pop up on my phone on PayPal. Thank you guys. You're very nice. This is like a collective reading. It could be. We're all part of the collective. So every personal reading is reflective of where everyone's sitting at on the kind of collective spectrum, right? Got Nashville Mama, Palmer, Miloon, Let's Be Hens. That is so funny for me. And Design Ninja, Biodiesel, yeah. Oh, thank you, Brianna. That's very sweet. We are happy to have you. All are welcome here. Microdosing work wonders. I was just, so funny you mentioned that, Nashville Mama. I was just talking to one of my friends about microdosing yesterday, actually, thinking how I've seen it be so beneficial for people. It's been beneficial for them. I've never done it. I'm more like a wacky tobacco kind of girl. There's only so far in my subconscious that I'm willing to go. I spend all of my time in my subconscious, so I find that doing like really 3D and like people type things actually balances out my energy, because my whole life is spirit. My job is spirituality. I play in my subconscious, my magic, collective subconscious, collective magic all the time. So the way I balance out my energy is by like eating a cheesesteak and like watching a movie and working out, or like going tanning, like doing my nails, like doing really like mundane 3D stuff balances my energy. But that's because I am like a tea bag steeped in spirit all of the time. If it was reverse, then stuff like meditation and yoga or microdosing or, mantras, any of that stuff is really going to serve. It just kind of depends where you're at. NBA, you get therapy and you get therapy and you get therapy. Therapy for everyone. It's great. I love it. So let me see. So we got Nashville Mama. Let me find you. Why did I said your name and I immediately heard that song. I think it's like a Will Smith song. It's Welcome to Miami. Ami. I just heard that. That's really funny. Outside therapy experience. Thank you. Such nuggets of wisdom. All I saw were nuggets, which might be an indicator that I'm hungry. Just like nuggets? Lauren. So let me see. Okay, let me find you. Nashville Mama. Scrolling with the homies. So it's a lot of scrolling. Here we go. Okay. All right. See your tip. Thank you very much. To the question. Is it too late to ask the question? No. National Mama. Okay, here we go. I found you. Woo! Took me a minute. I really had to like put all my brain cells together. I would love a card pull for a question 2 if you got me to the list. Yes. Oh, maybe I did not find you. How does M feel about you? Okay, here we go. I found you now. Oh, I found you now. I'm gonna actually put my glasses on. For protection. Alright. Okay. That's better. It's a little better. Ooh, yeah. That feels like a glass of water for my eyes. So let's see. I'm going to use this animal deck. How does M feel about you? The word intense is coming forward. It feels like they perceive your energy as being very big, as being very powerful. It might actually be a little bit abrupt. I don't think it's necessarily in a bad way. It's just like you have a dominant personality is how it feels. I have a dominant personality. Also feels like you're very, like you're quick, like you're very busy. You're always in motion. You're hard to pin down. Do you have a bit of a temper? I gotta take these out. Do you have a bit of a temper? Like you're like a little bit of a hothead? Might be like a little bit of a hothead, Nashville Mama. If that is the case, I actually think that they enjoy that. It's like they perceive it as like passionate, like they see you as being a very passionate person. The deer comes out as well, which is sort of my my card for like the divine feminine energy. These combination would feel very much like yes, Dina, I'm gonna keep this stream up. Sort of like a Empress. This is like my Empress card, and this would almost come through like the Queen of Wands. So they see you as very confident. They see your energy as being very dominant. You might have quite a passionate nature, which may relate to you being spitfire is the word that I want to say. Spitfire, like you're kind of quick to like debate or argue, but it's flirty. It's not like combative. It's just kind of, it's this flirty sort of banter type of energy. Golden egg, though, at the top of the deck, I would say that they are quite fond of you, Nashville Mama. That's actually interesting. So I see the vulture at the bottom of the deck. So vulture talks about having to like clear things out, gunk, clutter, right? Vultures go in and they kind of clean up decay, right? It's coming out in reverse. So one, I do get the impression that there is some shit going on in their life that they need to clean out. Like they need to kind of make room for you. There's an acknowledgement that they have to make room for you because you have a very, this is, what are you saying? Like prime time slot. You have kind of like a prime time slot wanting to give you like the time or the energy that you need. There is a sense that they know they need to clear some stuff out to make room for you. However, of all the things that they have to clear out, it feels like you are not one of them. It feels like you are the one thing they wouldn't clear out of their life. If they had to do a house clean, you'd be the one thing that they would keep. There's also an energy of potentially feeling like you are a little bit out of their league. I don't think that they would admit that, though. It feels like they like to do the kind of banter thing with you. They like to play it kind of cool. I don't know if they'd admit that. Maybe like a pride thing. But I think they do deeply recognize that you might be like a little bit out of their league there. So it's kind of like, I need to get my shit together before I solidify anything. I don't want Nashville Mama to know that I'm like kind of don't have my shit together, right? It's like the kind of they want to like impress you. They want to seem like they're on your level. Ace of Pentacles, yeah, before they offer an opportunity. But this is sticking out of the deck, which kind of says that they want to offer an opportunity. It's very practical, though. It might come in, like, very humbly. You want to get a coffee? You want to go for a walk? You want to run this errand with me? Like, it feels like something that's, like, very humble. They may ask you to do that. More of, like a friend type of thing. That might actually trigger you. If they ask you to do, like, friend stuff as opposed to, like, romantic stuff. I actually think that's a good sign for them, though. They might be people that either have a hard time getting into relationships, like they are more of, like, a casual dater, if you catch my drift, or they get into a relationship before they really get to know a person. So if they're coming through as sort of like a humble beginning, asking you to do casual stuff, friend stuff, it's not because they don't recognize your worth and they don't want to be, like, romantic. It's more as if they are trying to develop, like, a line of friendship, like kind of a foundation of friendship with you, because it's healthier for them. And it might actually allow you to get to know them more. Six of Pentacles, right? Equal energy exchanges. It feels like it takes pressure off of them to approach you more as a friend. You are less intimidating to them in that way, and they can be more of themselves. Nine of Cups, though. That's wish fulfillment. So, to reiterate, and the Queen of Pentacles, and the Three of Cups. So, I would say that this person feels very strongly about you. They are very fond of you. It feels like they do want you to be in their life in a greater capacity than you are, but they do recognize that they need to shift some things around to accommodate you. They can kind of put you at, like, the top time slot, but they may come forward in more of a friend dynamic, because they are not used to doing that, and they know it's the healthiest way. And it also takes pressure off of both of you to start with a foundation of friendship. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Sexy librarian vibes. Yeah. No, I look high maintenance up. That's all right. Yeah. Yeah, these are really, really beautiful cards. These are really beautiful cards. It's really sweet. It's really, really sweet. It almost feels like puppy love. Like puppy love. Like, it reminds me of like courting. It's, like, very kind of innocent. It starts as friends, right? It's like there is, like, a youthful energy here, which is really nice. It does feel like a breath of fresh air. And it's probably encouraging them to, like, step their game up a little bit. So that's really gorgeous. That's really gorgeous. Good for you. It's like adoration. Yeah, it's adoration. Admiration. It's really nice. It's really nice. It's actually cute. I actually kind of feel myself, like, blushing a little bit. That's really sweet. It's like, don't tell her. I'm like, I don't. Well, she asked, so. She asked, so, you know. Waggy to baggy is cool too. Alright, let's see. You know, you're so smart about the details. I had that mirror moment after staying in bed for 4 days. I woke up, did 40 push-ups, and worked over 2 days. That's the way you gotta do it, though. Oh, being here. Good. So, you know, it just means you're in alignment with the energy, Gina, and you're doing all the right things. And just so you know, Gina, too, you're not the only one who's been struggling with this, like, this plateau. I know a lot of people have been doing it, and all of you are kind of collectively starting to swoop, like, make your way back up. So just know it is a pendulum. Muskrat love. Aw. You are so welcome. I'm so happy and excited for you. It's so nice to be viewed that way, right? Palmer, Maloon, Let's Be Hen, Design Ninja. All right, Palmer. Palmer, you wanted to know about those cards, right? Let me scroll up. I think that's what you wanted to know. What did you get? Photographic memory. You got the Death, you got the Tower, you got the Ten of Swords, and you got the Hangman, right? Oh, I'm good. That's exactly what you got. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I used to do in school. I have, like, a photographic memory, so I'd look at a question on a test and go, I'd remember, like, the whiteboard or the blackboard and, like, what was on it, and I'd get my answers that way. But I couldn't remember it. My brain was too full. Is that right, Palmer? That's what you want me to read for? Just double check. I love Eve. Eve's like, done! Don't even ask. Don't even think about it after Design Ninja. Don't even try it. Ooh, the Emperor. That's Ariel. I feel Ariel's present. I feel her in the Force. No, this is probably Palmer. Let's see. I'm pretty sure that's what Palmer asked. I'll scroll up and I'll double check, but... It is so dark and gloomy today. I love it. I love it. It makes me just feel like I'm living in Twilight. I really like that. Which they took off Netflix, by the way. Super disappointed. No one cares, but I just want everyone to know. I'm super disappointed they took all the Twilights off Netflix. But they did put on the Batmans. Oh, and just a side note, just a shameless plug for Netflix. Not that they sponsor me. But me and Ariel we were watching the same show at the same time. We were watching Raising Dion on Netflix. It's about this little superhero kid. It's really good. So if you're looking for like a new show on Netflix, watch Raising Dion. There are 2 seasons. Me and Ariel loved it. We were going back and forth like, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe that happened. I just did them again, and it's much better if you... I am back to Empress mode, and yes, please, I thought someone could just say, oh my god, no. So, when it comes to actual physical death, you'll find that most readers won't read on that for a variety of reasons, most of them ethical. But, if we were actually going to perceive a physical death indicated by the cards, you would see something more like the Death card, followed up by the 6 of Swords, followed up by something like the Star, right? Like a peaceful transition to the other side. That is more of what you would see. If you really wanted to divine actual passings through the cards, there's a particular combinations. There's also a few other cards that could be combined together to predict that. But typically, you'll find most readers won't read on that for ethical reasons. Because if you get that wrong, that's it. You're toast. Yes, you and me, girl, we just watched Raising Dion. It was so good. I hope it stays on forever. You really like that show? Yeah, it's good too. Let me see. The Death. We have the Tower. We have the 10 of Swords. And then we have the Hangman. I feel like saying that not all endings are bad. Not all endings are bad. I also feel inclined to say that just because things don't necessarily end the way that we like them to doesn't mean that it wasn't the end. Sometimes when things end in a way that we don't like or aren't comfortable for us, we feel as though they are incomplete, so we tend to stay in places. Sort of like that download that I got at the very beginning of the stream about being in that empty room that still had some souvenirs in it, right? The thing with the Death card as well is that Death kind of talks about a transition. It's not this now you see it, now you don't moment. That's the Tower card. So the fact that I see the Death and the Tower tells me that you've probably been being pushed in the direction of change and transition for a long time, but you might have been avoiding it because it was uncomfortable, or you might not have been confident that you were moving in the right direction. And because you might have been resisting that transition, that is why the Tower with the 10 of Swords is coming in. So that way the Divine makes it very obvious to you in a very physical way that the situation is no more, like it is not sustainable, and a change of direction needs to be had. The Death tells me that intuitively you were pulling that in already, but you might have been resistant to that energy. So now they're really driving that home. With the 10 of Swords is do not pass go, do not collect $200. This is far as you're getting. Return back to the Ace of Swords and develop a new plan. Get a good handle on it, right? That's that handle on the Ace of Swords, and begin again. The Hangman is all about your perspective. It's about your perception around change. about how it may be uncomfortable, why you may assume that you may be moving in a negative or an unfulfilling direction. There also seems to be something about faith. Typically when we see the Hangman card, there is a bit of a halo around his head, right? So there is this idea of when we are in positions where we feel stuck or we feel like we have no other choice but to go in a different direction, that we can find enlightenment, we can find these new perspectives, right? And so there seems to be like a rebirthing that's needed in your thought process around your comfort zone, and how your comfort zone may be keeping you small and maybe keeping you stagnant, that the new lessons that you need to learn in order to grow and evolve and, you know, like really take a slice out of life, they're on the other side. I've said this message before, and I will reiterate it, is sometimes we're not afraid of change. We're not afraid of going into the new. We're afraid that the new will look a lot like the old. And so there also seems to be something in here about asking yourself why you may be projecting past outcomes onto future situations, or why maybe you may be struggling with feeling as though like the universe is on your side. It's that type of thing. Here we go. I just picked up my phone. Let me see. Let me pull cards though. Sometimes it comes in really mental. Sometimes it comes in cards. Yes, and again, it's much better. Back to Empress mode. Yeah, seasonal. There is something like, the Empress also tells us, Palmer, that it's like you're moving into a new season right now, right? And to allow yourself to do it. There's the uncomfort that you feel, it's sort of like growing pains. Remember, the Empress is typically pregnant in that card, right? And so there is stretching, there is a bit of discomfort in order to kind of come into the form that she needs to in order to bring new things in. In my new read, I got the Judgment and the Ace of Swords. Very wise advice. Yeah. So Judgment, one, it talks about making good decisions. Judgment also says that you've learned a lot of your lessons from the past. And that's why that Ace of Swords, like I said before, is you pulling in a new idea. It's pulling in a new perspective. But again, the hand that grasps that sword is trying to signify that you have a good handle on things, that you have a good handle on what direction you're moving forward. So maybe any discomfort or friction that you may be feeling has to do around the fact that maybe you never thought that you'd get this far. And so maybe you didn't plan past the point of survival, right? And now would be a good time to look past the point of survival and into what you would do if you could thrive. I feel inclined to ask you, like, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Like, what would you do if any door was open to you? Whatever kind of pings you, look into that, right? Again, I'll reiterate, you might not have thought you would have gotten to even this point, this far. And so you haven't planned what you do past the point of survival. Now's a good time to look at it. That's what the Empress is, right? She's incredibly fertile. She's also full of joy. She has a positive impact on other people. So that could also be a message to you that it would be a good time to like be of service to other people, right? The Empress blesses other people with her energy, with her presence, that her energy is really fertile. Oftentimes, and this is something that Christians say a lot, that you can kind of tell, you can tell the tree by its fruit, right? And so, yeah, 2 of Wands, exactly. You've outgrown the environment and you're really ready to move forward. His hand is on 1 wand though, which is choosing a direction to put your energy into. I got into my read wand. The Hangman looks like Jesus, missing tarot I used this morning. That's funny. In my new read, I got the Judgment, these wands. I wish I could see you. Maybe time for a live group Zoom so we can have and share, discuss, teach kids tarot is what I want to do, but not about pandemic. Yeah, and I believe that is something that came up when we did a reading for you, however long ago we did that reading, right? It might be a good time to invest some time and some energy into that. Yeah, six of Cups, children. Yeah, children. Some of this, I'm also hearing community outreach, so some of this might be spiritual, metaphysical in terms of cards, but some of this might be actual like physical outreach as well. This could be spending time with children, family, stuff like that. Reprioritizing where you want to invest your energy as well. Some of this also feels like community outreach in the sense of community gardens, food shelters, like stuff like that. There seems to be something not just spiritual, but also like physical about it as well. Some kind of like social work, something like that, which will also help you just be in touch with the people. It's very easy sometimes. Part of the reason why I love doing live readings, and I used to not do them at all. I only did pre-recorded, but I actually find more of my clients book live readings now. And part of the reason I love it more is it's easy to sometimes lose touch with your audience or lose touch with the people that you're trying to help when you're not actually interacting with them, when there's like a bit of a wall between you. And so maybe doing something with children, like in the world, may also be... Okay, squirrel. Yeah, okay. That squirrel like really stuck out to me. Squirrels talk a lot about preparation. It may help you prepare on how to best deliver messages to children, how best to teach children, stuff like that, by becoming reacquainted with children today and kind of their needs and where sort of their energy is leading, not just by tapping into it, but by also experiencing it firsthand through some kind of charity or communal work. It will serve a dual purpose for you. Very good. King of Cups, the man of the hour. The man of the hour. Yeah, that's absolutely what I would do, Palmer. Oh, that's a good one. That's so nice of you, Lauren. Thank you for doing the work. Oh, you're so welcome. That's what I'm here for. Let me see. Who do I have next? Raisin DM was so good. I told Aria, I was like, at the end of the second season, I was like, I'm curious and I'm excited and I'm also angry because now I have to wait for a new season and I'm impatient. I don't want to do that. So Loon, Lesby, Hens. It's just so funny. It's just the funniest name for me. It's like of all the names, it just makes me giggle. I love it. Okay, so Loon. Oh, you're so sweet, Palmer. Thank you so much. You're an angel. Let me find Maloon. Maloon, your name, it reminds me of this song by Gone Gone Beyond called My Little Moon. My Little Moon. It's in the Shufflemancy on my channel, so feel free to go check that out. I added some new songs onto the Shufflemancy. I think we're almost at like 900 songs in the Shufflemancy. I know you guys have been using it more too because the songs that are coming up are changing a lot, and that usually happens when you guys are using it more. Let me see. Let me find Maloon. Unless you want to retype your question, just give me a moment to find it. Could you be alive, my little moon? My poor little eyes. What I need to get is new prescription glasses. Okay, I found you. Eureka! Okay. Old people boyfriend are popping in my life since a month. I wonder why. Did I need to revisit some unfinished business with them? Thank you. Did I not do a video? I just did a video. Was it Gemini? I think the Gemini video was called Unfinished Business. That's one. Also, we did just within a few days come out of a Venus retrograde, and we just came out of a Mercury retrograde as well, Maloon. So it's very common for kind of blast from the past, stuff of yonder, to kind of make its way back around. Sometimes it is because we have to revisit it. There's still some karma, like there's still something about it. Sometimes those people, places, and things revisit us, not because we need to revisit them, but because they need to revisit us so they can heal something. They can clear out karma. Don't forget we play roles in each other's healing processes. I also feel as though part of the reason they popped up was to show you how far you have come since that energy, and highlight to you how you are no longer so attached to it. It feels like you've come into a lot of acceptance and you've made a lot of peace with it. But let's see. All right, we'll take this deck then. No problem. Yes, ma'am. Also, in very many ways, and this is kind of collectively, because we went into the new year, January, with like all these retrogrades and all of this stuff, that it didn't really feel like the new year. I even remember in the beginning of January, putting out those messages, like if you don't really have that new year buzz, like don't worry about it. February, in very many ways, felt like the beginning of the year, and it's because things started to lighten up. We just had the solar new year, we had the new moon in Aquarius, like all of that sort of stuff. And so it's typical if we think of the new year, the beginning of the year, as February and not January, then it makes sense that at the end of the year, right, there's a lot of stuff kind of being fleshed out. But let's just double check. Ooh, that flipped. We got a flopper. The Seven of Pentacles. Part of it is a test for you to see if you're able to stay focused and not distracted. Do you see how he is really intense? It's like he's aware that there's an energy behind him, that there is someone watching him, that there's like something else present, but he's staying focused on looking forward. He's not allowing himself to be distracted. I also noticed that he has his hand over his book, kind of like in this protective measure. In this deck, all of the aces are represented by books. The Lunar New Year, the Chinese New Year. We just had it the same day as the new moon, which was the first Gregorian calendar, yeah. But he also has his hands over this book. And like I said, all of the aces in this deck are represented by books. And so part of it is a bit of a moment for you, seeing if, one, you're able to stay focused, not distracted or kind of sucked back into that energy. But also, if you are able to kind of protect the new beginnings that you've been working towards. Does that make sense? When I had done the downloads for Aquarius season, which I didn't even pull any cards for, I was talking about these robins and these mockingbirds that kept coming through as this message. Robins talk about rebirth, renewal, spring, beginnings. Mockingbirds talk a lot about protection. There was that download coming in about protect the new thing. And so I feel part of it, on top of you staying focused, right, is also to see if you will stay focused on the new thing, but protect it from being influenced by older energies, old people, old patterns, all of that stuff, right? How committed are you to a new beginning, to yourself, to being free? You've done all of this work, but the universe is a little petty, and it will send in these little tests, and it's not really to prove it to the universe, it's more so to prove it to yourself. Sometimes you don't realize how over something you are, how far you've moved past it, until you're confronted with it again, and it feels better to do a new or different thing than what you've done in the past. We have another flipper too. The Sun card, it's coming out in reverse, which for me, the Sun card talks a lot about kind of rebirth and renewal, which again is recognizing that your new places are not found in the old spaces. The Sun, I hear like feeding it. Are you able to not feed your energy? Solar energy is a very powerful energy, which is also your attention. Are you able to not feed into it? Have it bother you? Crawl into your head, right? Hang over you, like create confusion. Like, are you able to stay, like, keep your head above water with it? Recognize it for what it is. Stay focused. Protect the new things. See it, acknowledge it, but just don't feed into it too much. But it feels like you did that. It feels like you are doing that. You should be really proud of yourself. The Knight of Wands. Yeah, you're moving past it really quickly. You're moving past it really quickly. It won't be there in 2 weeks, is what I just heard. I don't even think it's going to take 2 weeks, but it won't be there in the next 2 weeks. Which is when, that's why. In the next 2 weeks is when the Mercury post-shadow lifts. So Mercury is direct, but we're in the post-shadow, which means that some of those energies do still linger. So you might feel a little bit of their energy still lingering around, but as long as you don't feed it, right? It's like a gremlin after midnight. As long as you don't feed into it, it will go away as soon as that post-shadow leaves. So just keep doing what you're doing. Kind of keep your eyes on the prize. Very good. My new year started February 1st. Yeah, that was the Aquarius new moon. That was the lunar or the Chinese New Year. Order that, Loom. Let's Be Hens. Design Ninja. All right, let me find you, Let's Be Hens. You gotta... What's your name? You gotta tell us your name. With a username like that, we gotta know who is behind. I'm an old... I just found some random comment you put in here. I didn't see before. I'm an old boomer that hates and is lousy with tech. I buy myself a treat anytime I go online now. That's really funny. You are a treat. You are a pleasure and a delight. I'm so happy that you're boomers. Well, you'd be surprised. My primary demographic is the boomers. I think it's like 35 to like 55 or like 60. It's like 35 to 60 is like my primary demographic, which I think is kind of fun. But I've noticed, I checked my demographics and I'm starting to like inch into like the younger demographics, like the Gen Zers. I think that's what they're called. I'm showing my age now, like the Gen Zers. I'm coming. I believe the children are the future. I'm coming. There's no question like spammy. Yeah, exactly. I feel like it. I just ran 22. Hold, I'm coming. Oh, that's like that Sam and Dave song. Hold on. Nance. Oh. I mostly watch on Roku. Oh, I remember. I used to have a Roku. I used to have one of those sticks you put in the telly. All right, let me find your question. Unless you would like to re-ask it. Otherwise, I'm going to scroll for it. Man, why am I invisible? You are not invisible. I do, Palmer. Yeah, I do. I got it for myself a few months ago. I love it. James A. Reed, he's a gorgeous, beautiful artist. Hey, David. I missed you in the chat before. Nance, I'm looking for your question. You might have to retype it, because I'm not seeing it. Doesn't mean that it's not here. My little eyes just might not be with the program. I know. DeRoy. I'm like, I can't see your question. It's also only letting me scroll up so far, so that's part of it too. So your question isn't here, but it might be above where I am able to scroll right now. So if you just retype it, then I can read it for you, my love. Yeah, it's not letting me see past when you said, why are you invisible? Okay, here we go. Wait, hold on a minute. Trying to stay alive another day, need encouragement, or why doesn't anyone understand me at all? Is that your question? Or is that like a kind of a broad statement? I just want to make sure that I'm reading on what you want me to be reading for, my love. Ariel, that's so cute. I've been getting tiny lunches packed and making little pigtails. Oh, you're so cute. I just want to squeeze you. Please, any help or encouragement. Okay. I got you, love. Let's use this deck. We're going to use this deck. Okay. Just making sure. Oh, Palmer, it is this deck. It is the Dark Grimoire Tarot. It's inspired by the Necronomicon. Michelle Penco, artwork by Michelle Penco. I had this on my wish list. Eve got this for me, which is amazing. I use it for the monthly readings. The Dark Grimoire. I do where we get readings. Yeah, I've been doing readings for 3.5 hours, or 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. I came on at 12:30. It's a little after 3 now. So I have Nance, and then I have Design Ninja, and then I'm probably gonna call it quits because I'm waning my energy. I'm a little bit tired now. I also did some other work today as well. I put out the Virgo reading. Go check out your Virgo reading. And I need to eat. I did not eat today. And yeah. Okay, so we have the Cobra coming out. So one, this talks to me a lot about the root chakra, things that we are attached to, things that we are rooted in, old traumas, old woundings, old pains. This Cobra kind of sometimes comes through and he looks a little bit aggressive, right? Part of, how do I put this? It may benefit you to address any kind of anger or sacred rage that you have. Nance. It's the feeling of things not feeling fair, that you didn't get dealt like a full deck, that kind of thing. You weren't given like the proper chances or opportunities. And I'm not disagreeing with you at all. There's definitely an energy of you probably got handed a real raw deal. With that being said, how do we move forward from that? Anger and pain are two mirrored emotions. And sometimes when we get sick of crying or feeling sad, we shift over into anger or frustration. And both of those are very valid emotions, but they are a raw sense of power and energy. And so we can use them for anything. And so when we're feeling things like frustration or anger, even sadness, it points us in the direction that we want to go because we know where we don't want to be anymore. Cobra also brings up this idea of kind of being hypnotized. It's sort of like this snake charmer energy that comes in. And so there is a sense that sometimes you may kind of get lost in your own story. And that happens to a lot of us. It's happened to me before, but we can kind of get lost in our own story about how things worked out or played out for us. And, that can kind of keep us stuck, and it can keep the pen out of our hands from going back in and sort of rewriting a new chapter for ourselves. There also is a sense, what's coming through is you don't have to forgive them. You don't have to forgive them, but you do have to keep living. I was talking to someone about this, and it was this, I think it was Patreon, and there's this young girl on TikTok. She might be like 4 years old. And she's on this little TikTok, and her mom says to her, hey, is there anything that you want to say to people? And she stops for a second, and she kind of quite thoughtfully looks at the camera, and she says, don't let your sadness keep you from your happiness. That I'm never going to be the person to tell you that everything happens for a reason. No, I think it's a way we bypass and we try and make ourselves feel better about some like really painful or inconvenient shit that happens to us, right? But I do think that we can take what happens to us and we can make something good out of it. I don't think that we have to be slaves to our birth charts. I don't think that we have to be chained to our experiences. I do think that we can empower ourselves and push ourselves in new directions when it is necessary. The Otter in reverse. You cannot be celebrated unless you allow yourself to be seen. As we looked at this Otter card a little bit earlier, it talks a lot about sociability. It talks a lot about friendliness. Not everyone is going to treat you the way that other people have treated you, the more that you isolate yourself, the more you will amplify your depression or your melancholy. It feels as though you don't trust people in the way that you used to, and I don't necessarily blame you for that. But we cannot put ourselves in a position to be proven wrong, that there are people that we can trust, right? That life can be good to us in new seasons unless we put ourselves out there and we allow ourselves to be vulnerable enough. So it's sort of almost like this challenge to the universe. It's like, show me something that is better. Show me something that is more. And then the response kind of seems to be, what are you willing to sacrifice to have a better experience? It's not your life. It might be the mindsets. It might be to release it. Again, you don't have to forgive it, but you do have to keep living. You do have to keep walking forward. I believe it was Seneca who said that sometimes the most courageous thing that you can do is just to live. Is to just keep going. Because you never know what will be around the corner for you. I can't tell you how many times in my life, look, the oyster is sticking out. What's inside of an oyster? It's a pearl. It's something special. We take the wisdom that came when we were at our weakest and we put them together on a string and we move forward. I can't tell you how many times in my life that I have been down and out. I've been alone. I've been depressed. I've been hanging on by a thread. And I just took a step forward. And it took everything in my spirit to take that step forward. To just not give up. But as soon as I took one step, God, the universe, the divine, however you relate it, took me 10 miles. It brought me the people that I needed. It brought me the situations that I needed. And you know what? Every single one of them was directly outside of my comfort zone. It was directly outside of my anger. It was directly outside of my pain. And those are things that I had to sacrifice in order to have a better experience. Part of humility, part of shadow work is just admitting that wasn't fair. Okay, I didn't deserve that and it wasn't fair, but I am going to move on from it. I'm going to keep walking forward. Does that make sense? The oyster is a really good omen for you. It says that maybe some things you went through aren't right, but the work that you've been doing on yourself, it is not in vain at all. But your anger will burn off and repress new opportunities to make new friends and new connections and new projects. It's the idea of like you're not even at the good part yet. That's sort of what I want to say. It's like, don't give up before you're even at the good part yet. And that there will be people that will be there for you. But they can't climb inside of your window. If it won't come to your front door, then you got to go outside and you got to meet it halfway. The Four of Pentacles, you got to step outside your comfort zone. It's really important. You do it as a way to protect yourself, which is super common, right? We all do it. But in this effort to protect yourself from more harm or more disappointment, you're actually prolonging the feeling of loneliness and isolation. The Two of Wands. It's time to look to new horizons, to chart a new course. Something even kind of dramatic might actually serve you. Picking up and leaving, quitting your job, signing up to do something else, just something kind of spontaneous. Just like you need to do something spontaneous, you need to shake yourself out of this rut. It feels like the divine very shortly may also come in with like a bit of a tower moment and shake you up as well. Not to cause any more discourse in your life, but to just shake you out of that stagnancy. But it feels like it's more important for you to do it for yourself. The divine can come in and do it for you, but it means more if you do it for yourself. The Six of Cups. So oftentimes when we look at the Six of Cups, we look at it as history and the blast from the past and all of that stuff. But sometimes I think that we do a disservice to the Six of Cups by not looking at it as a potential future energy, future community, people that feel like family, new memories to be made and to be had. You're not even at the good part yet. Shake up the routine, shake up the energy. It's time to go back to personal fulfillment. That's what this Ace of Cups offer. It's feeling emotionally connected to life in like a really present way. It's looking for spiritual nourishment, investing in your soul, however you like to do that. Sacred dance, meditation, live streams, however you do it. It's moving out of survival mode and moving more into this mode where you are investing in yourself by making new connections, doing something spontaneous, stepping outside of your comfort zone, and really looking for a very wholesome sense of spiritual nourishment. It may really serve you. So I hope that that's helpful for you. I hope that that's encouragement. I could very easily come on and give you one of my best motivational speeches, because that is what I do best, right? I got a preacher's spirit. I think we all know that. But I also want to pay reverence to the difficulties that you're having. And I can come on as all sunshine and glitter, but when you are feeling stuck in the mud and when you're feeling like you're under, you know, kind of a dark cloud, sometimes that energy doesn't hit. So I just want to acknowledge that you've been through some tough stuff and it's not all fair, and maybe there's not a reason for all of it, but there is a reason to move forward. And when we feel pain and anger, it shows us an area that we need to look at to heal, so we can connect back into God, so we can connect back into ourselves, so we can participate in life again. And again, it's on the outside of our comfort zone. It is going to push you, it is going to stretch you, but I think that you deserve it. If no one else will do it for you, I think you deserve to do it for yourself. And I think you will be really surprised at the results that you have just on the other side. Sometimes it only takes a few steps. Hey, Janie. Yep, absolutely, Dina. Desert's a jungle where water runs. That's beautiful. 100%. And get out and do something. That's good. Yes, thank you. You're very welcome. Oh, the wishing tree. Oh, do you know what? Nance, do me a favor. Can you do a favor for me? On my channel, I think it's either in the Vault Collective or it might be in the Vault Good Thinking playlist. There is a video called Greetings from the Wishing Tree. I made it almost 2 years ago. I made it a long time ago, and it was when I was in a period very similar to what you are in now. Ooh, my phone's trying to die. It is in a period just similar to what you are going through now. If you feel inclined, please go watch that video. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up and reminding us, Eve, of that video. I think it will help. That was a very special day for me. I think it will help. Maybe I'll post that on the community board. I'll share it again. I look like who done it and where in that video. It's not my most beautiful moment, but it is a good video. It's a really special day. It was a day where you could really see God act in real time. It's beautiful. So I have one more. We have Design Ninja. Lord, I'm so bummed I missed you. It's okay. You know where to find me. I'm always here. I've been on for almost 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours. But my phone's almost dying, and my computer's almost dying. I need to go to the store, and I need to eat, and it's about comfy pants o'clock. So we have one more, and then we're going to be done. But I'll come back on another day, and I'll do more of these. I don't always come on and kind of do these readings for you guys, so I like to come on and be able to do it when my schedule allows and when I have the energy. I had a relatively light day today, and so... And make sure you go watch your Virgo reading. and Patreons, your meditation is up. And I did the weekly energy report. I was doing those daily, like the daily energies on the community page, and I was doing them on Instagram. But I kind of like the idea of doing like it in bulk, so that's where I got the weekly energy report. I'm really proud of it, so go on my Instagram and go look at it. Go affirm the hard work that I put in last night. Okay, let me find you. Design Ninja, you've been single. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, let me say. Hi, Lauren. Please do love reading for me. I've been single for many years now. Yeah, no problem. Let's see. And thank you for the tip. Thanks for the donation. Let me close this in here. Brrr. It's the last one. Let's see. Tell me what you want. What you really, really want. Okay, well, these... Somehow I combined decks, which is strange and not intentional. However, I see the Death and the Sun card coming up. 2 major arcana. So Design Ninja, when I see only major arcana come out, it's usually a sign of like fate is kind of at work in your life right now. Death does talk about that transformation from one into the other. If you notice, it feels like you've been in a really prolonged death process. I'm not going to lie to you. But it feels like the tide is kind of turning for you. The sun is sort of like a very good omen to get. And if you look at the back of this death card, there is a sunrise happening. And so perhaps when you've been in this process, you might not have noticed that slowly but surely, like a new opportunity, like a new personal season. The sun also comes through like a kind of a personal summer that is coming in for you. And sort of here it is. It might actually be between like now and summer that something comes in. I also feel inclined to ask you how much you're putting yourself out there. And are you putting yourself out there in like a variety of different areas? They're kind of showing me like dating apps, meeting people through friends, doing speed dating. It kind of feels like you need to get in the practice of dating again. Sometimes we can just like download an app and expect to find like the love of our lives. And sometimes that can happen. But there is, especially when you've been single for a really long time, it can be like give you a little bit of anxiety when you're out of the swing of things, and it puts too much pressure when you meet somebody because you've been waiting for someone for so long, right? So it's like when someone comes in, it puts a lot of pressure on them, and then you can get really disappointed if it's not the person. So it feels like you need some practice in dating. Again, talking to people on apps, doing group activities where you can meet a lot of different people, stuff like speed dating, like stuff that allows you to approach love and relationships in a way that is a little bit more casual, that is a little bit more relaxed. It takes pressure off of you. It takes pressure off of other people. And it also just allows you to kind of get back in the swing of things, right? Practice non-attachment, that sort of thing. Because I'm feeling they're going 1, 2, 3. They're going 1, 2, 3. Which one could talk about like the expediency of like how something may come in for you. But I also feel like you may go on like a few dates or have like a few connections or conversations with people, and it's almost like not the first, not the second, third, like third time's a charm. It's that sort of thing. But if you put too much pressure on like the first thing that comes in and it doesn't work out, it may discourage you from exploring the other two options, which will lead. It's sort of like a hop, 1, 2, 3, hop, skip, and a jump. It's like that. But again, it does require you to be a little bit more social, to be a little bit more active. Cobra. So the Cobra is coming through a little bit more like your sacred sexuality, your sexual healing. It also comes through with being really connected and feeling really good in your body. So you may want to just be like mindful of like your confidence level and your self-esteem and how good you feel in your body, feeling safe in your body. That even has to do with things like nervousness, that kind of stuff, right? Anything you can do to kind of make you feel good and confident and capable will really help. Also with like the energy that you're putting out for mates, right? Be mindful of your emotional availability. Obviously, you're single, so like you are available, but there is a sense of double checking to see if your emotional availability light is on. Does that make sense? Because like You could be single, but you could be happy being single. And so emotionally available, your little emotional available sign, it's turned off, right? It's like, no one needs to apply here. Making sure you turn that light on. Yeah, there's threes. Threes are really important for you. There might actually be like March, it's the 3rd month. That might be an important month for you. The thing with this 3 of Wands, it's not just waiting for ships to come in, but it's also paying attention to which ships you want to get on. If you've waited this long, it may really serve you to, very similar to the guidance that a few other people got today, think about like what you want in a partner. How do you want to show up in a relationship? What is your love language? What does equality in a relationship look like to you? How do you fit someone into your life? How do you also fit into other people's lives? Because sometimes when we spend a lot of time by ourselves, we could want someone to just come in and just fit perfectly into the box of our life, but we forget sometimes that relationships are a co-creation, and so there is compromise. So are you willing to compromise, not your standards, not your values in a relationship, but are you willing to compromise, make shared decisions with someone else? Are you willing to kind of shift some things around so that way you equally fit in each other's lives, right? This is some of the preliminary work that needs to kind of get done mentally, emotionally, spiritually, while physically you are practicing being social, making connections, going on dates in a very relaxed way. Judgment, and then the 5 of Cups. This is, again, it's really just reminding you that doing this preliminary work is very important. So that way, if the first or the second person that you meet doesn't work out, right, you don't become so disappointed that you stop looking, right? It's like sometimes you have to kiss like a few frogs and you've been out of the game for a while. And so by having kind of a clear idea of the kind of person you're looking for, what your love language is, what equality in a relationship looks like for you, that type of stuff allows you to better pick the players. It allows you to better pick your partners, right? A little bit like we were talking about before, how someone had gotten the Sun, right, with the 10 of Cups in reverse, how sometimes they may feel that connection, but it might not really be for them, right, because they didn't have really a good idea of what soul tribe looked like for them. It's that sort of idea. I hope that makes sense to you. By having a clear idea of what you're willing to make shared decisions on, the kind of person, being really honest about really what you need in a relationship, your values, that sort of stuff, it's going to allow you to pick your partners better. So that way you don't waste time on people that are not in alignment with you. But again, fine-tune some of these details mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, but then in real life, get out there, be social, go on dates, low pressure, because there is nervous energy, just putting too much pressure on a date or on a person that has to be the one. And it doesn't have to be. It's supposed to be fun. It's sort of what it's coming forward as. Life, love, sex, relationships. It's supposed to be a fun process, right? It doesn't always have to be so serious. It doesn't always have to be so heavy. And so that's part of like shaking it up. You gotta shake it up and you gotta shake it out just a little bit, because at the bottom of the deck you have the Page of Pentacles and then you have the Justice at the top of the deck, right? So this is really just confirming with the Chariot that you are moving forward into a season, perhaps a personal summer, perhaps between March, right, and summer. That is a really good time for you to get out there and start incorporating some of these tools that we talked about. That is going to bring, one, just balance to your energy into your life, but it will also kind of bring you closer to moving, this is Cancerian energy, to like the right partner for you. But the 4 of Swords at the end is asking you to kind of stop for a second and really reflect on all of the work that you've done over these past few years, and ask if it has helped you define how you define love, what love means to you, what relationships mean to you, what is a healthy relationship dynamic, how do you want to show up in a relationship, how do you want someone to show up for you. Are you able to compromise where there needs to be compromise? Are you able to share space with other people? All of that kind of stuff. And if you implement some of those tools, and then over the next few months, I think there will be a plethora of opportunities for you to make connections and to meet people. And through the course of those meetings, it feels like you will come across sort of the right person. But again, they're not just going to show up at your doorstep. You got to get out there. You got to participate. You got to meet the universe halfway. Very good? Very good, my love. So, we did it! Janie, oh, not scary. No, it's not scary. Watch. My life in ruins yesterday. Check it out. Maybe get perspective. My picker needs returning. I don't need to return. Destiny arranged everything for me. There you go, DeRoy. That's the spirit. Just put it in God's hands. I don't want it. You deal with it. So I do that all the time. I'm like, you're more equipped to deal with this. You have it. I don't want it. You when you figure it out, you let me know. So that's it. We're done. We did it. Did you guys have fun? I had so much fun. I had so much fun with you guys today. I'm tired and I'm hungry, but I am satisfied with the messages that came out. I think we did good work today. Good work today, bees. We did it. What's that? Yeah, we did it. You could tell I lived with little kids for a long time. Some like Paw Patrol, like some of that stuff just comes out. Thank you, everyone. Going out again seems like so much work, but we'll do it in a playful way. Do it in a playful way. Yeah, that's the thing. It does feel like a lot of pressure. I get it. I've been single for a long time. I totally get it. When you do it in a low pressurized way, it makes it a lot easier, right? Get a drink, get some dinner, go to our friends, you know what I mean? Go to a park, do a paint party, go to a show, you know what I mean? So watch a little music, like just work your way into it. Garrett, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for live. Oh, I'm so glad, Garrett. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you're here. I absolutely adore you. My favorite little Aquarius. Oh, man. It's funny. My favorite little Aquarius in the Empress card pops out. You are the Empress. Today and always, Garrett. Today and always. So, that's what I got for you guys. I am going to go. It's 3:30. It's almost 4 o'clock. I'm going to go forge my way into some dinner. And kind of relax for the rest of the day. But again, go check out your weekly energy report. Patreons, your meditation is up for those of you that are in the mystery school. Virgo, your reading is out. I also did Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo this week as well. Who is next? Libra, you come out tomorrow. We will have a new workshop on Patreon. The Empress has been your card lately. I love that. It's a Taurian energy. It's Taurian energy, the Empress card. So that might be an Easter egg for you. But yeah, so we got lots of stuff moving, grooving. I love you guys. I appreciate you being here. Thank you to everyone who moderated, who is hanging out with us the whole time, keeping the chat going. Thank you for all of you guys who donated, who tipped over here on YouTube and on PayPal. I deeply appreciate you. Thank you for liking and supporting and sharing the channel and all of that stuff. Sometimes YouTube is really kind of shitty about pushing out my content, and that can be kind of a bummer for me, but it's really helpful when you guys show up and you show out for me like you do. It makes it easier for me to come on and do this work for you guys that I love to do so much. If you need me in the meantime, between today and tomorrow, you know where to find me. Any information you want from me is right down in the description box. I deeply appreciate you, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.